taking on the number 12 seed, the Titans of the University of Detroit Mercy. The winner advances to Knoxville Thursday night, where it will meet Auburn, as Auburn prevailed earlier tonight here in Indianapolis over Oklahoma State. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Indianapolis. I'm Sean McDonough. It's great to have you with us. Among the 8 teams in our bracket here in Indy, we have the 3 most improved teams in the country over a year ago. Auburn, with its victory earlier today over Oklahoma State, now with 13 more wins than a year ago. Winthrop finished its season with 14 more wins than last year. And the most improved team in the country this year, a Big Ten turnaround record, Ohio State, with 16 more wins than the 8 the Buckeyes won last season. I'm pleased to be joined, as always, by Bill Raftery. And a lot of reasons for the improvement of Ohio State, but one consistent factor: when they struggled last year, when they've won this year, Michael Redd's a great player.
Get him involved. He's terrific without the basketball. He screams, pops out. Jim O'Brien feels he's one of the premier players within the three-point line. Wonderful dribble moves, can show it, take it back, cross it over, understands how to break guys down, the lean in. He's got it all, and he gets to the foul line, Sean.
The strength of the Ohio State team is clearly its guard with Scooney Penn and Michael Redd, and that is also the strength of the Detroit Titans. We saw it in the upset win over UCLA here on Thursday night, as the Titans were led by the great backcourt of Jermaine Jackson and Rashad Phillips.
They got a lot of charm and personality. They're confident. They both can play the point, distribute the basketball. Rashad Phillips, one of those performers that can get a shot despite being 5'9", against bigger, taller, tougher opponents anytime he wants. But how about the strength? Jermaine Jackson, the ability to take a hit and a little nylon.
Perry Watson, in his 6th season as coach at Detroit, 113 wins. Only 2 coaches have won more games at Detroit, Bob Callahan and Lloyd Brazil. The starting lineup for the Titans: Bakari Alexander and Walter Kraft in the front court, as they start with a 3-guard set: Rashad Phillips, Desmond Ferguson, and Jermaine Jackson. Jackson had 17 points, played 39 minutes in their round 1 win over UCLA. Jim O'Brien, in his 2nd season at Ohio State, has taken very little time to turn the program around. 32-30 his record now. His starting lineup: Jason Singleton and Ken Johnson. And he'll also start with a 3-guard set. John Sanderson out of the starting lineup tonight. Brian Brown, Michael Redd, and Scooney Penn. Penn, the co-player of the year in the Big Ten, along with Mateen Cleaves of Michigan State, averaging 16.7 points per game and more than 4 assists. But a big story in this game will be Penn's health. He's been banged up lately and hasn't played as well. John Cal, the lead official. He's working with Tom Lopes and Tom Harrington. Detroit in red. Walter Kraft controlled the tip, and Jermaine Jackson saved it.
And Sean McDonough, after I get out from under the table, I thought he was going to hit me. Ohio State goes, minute. Little trap on the side.
Bakari Alexander, not much of a scorer, but a great role player. Jermaine Jackson missed a 3. The battle for the rebound, controlled in the corner by Scooney Penn.
Terrific guards on both sides, containing particularly Scooney, very important for Detroit.
And the writer's choice as the player of the year in the Big Ten, and the coaches selected Mateen Cleaves. Michael Redd missed a jumper. It was saved by Johnson, but saved to Jermaine Jackson of Detroit. Desmond Ferguson missed a 3.
And that's his game, too. A little check out and a foul.
This is the 3rd meeting all time between these 2 schools. They haven't played since 1962. Ohio State won both meetings in '62 and another one in 1960. Detroit comes in having won 18 of its last 20. The history against Big Ten schools not good. 29 wins and 111 losses all time against the Big Ten, including 0-2 this year with losses to Michigan and Iowa.
2-3 zone look, and Ferguson gets another look. He can light it up. They better be concerned about those open opportunities.
No score, more than a minute in. Penn, the junior from Salem, Massachusetts, transferred in from Boston College and sat out last year.
Incredible what one guy can do to a program, though, particularly at the point position.
Bothered by a sore lower back, he threw the ball up toward the rim, and Johnson was there to score the first bucket of the game.
I think it was a pass, though, don't you? Great field, dragged guys, and then delivered.
Basket was scored by Singleton. There's Phillips trying a three, and it rattles out to Johnson. So Detroit is scoreless. They survived 2 long stretches without a field goal last night against UCLA. Penn steps into a three.
Well, if he ever starts feeling healthy, Jim O'Brien felt for about 5 weeks playing as well as any guard in the country. Then that injury up at Penn State.
The last regular season game of the year fell on his tailbone. His scoring's been down. His quickness has been noticeably reduced. And an offensive foul called against Bakari Alexander as he ran over Red. And as you can hear, there are a lot of Ohio State fans here. Not a long drive from Columbus.
So you're at the Value Arena, don't you? Value City Arena?
The beautiful new home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, which opened earlier this season.
Detroit's like a team, you say, well, look down there, the uniforms aren't as sharp looking as ours, but they get after you and they play hard defense.
We're at 7 minutes without a field goal in the first half last night, and 5 minutes to start the second half without a field goal, and still beat UCLA. So this little drought isn't likely to rattle them. But right now it's 7-0 as Michael Red scored inside.
And he just kept the dribble alive. Extraordinary.
Jackson was the Midwestern Collegiate Conference Player of the Year. Now Phillips was first team All-Conference. And they settle with Jackson. A reach in, it's poked away by Brian Brown.
Dangerous, though. You wait for that TV timeout with a team as good as this. You can have your problems. A little bit of hand action, the strip, and how about the ability to gather? A little kiss at the end. Michael Red's got quick, delicate hands.
Rashad Phillips. Not a good shot. That was a very long three. Penn down the lane. Dished off. He thought that Singleton was going to remain in the corner, but Jason started toward the bucket.
Nice avoiding of the charge, too. Good body control as Scooney got down the lane.
The first turnover committed by Ohio State. They lead 7-0. A long way to go to get to the start of that Connecticut-New Mexico game earlier today when UConn got out to a 17-0 lead before the Lobos scored.
And Brian Brown outside doing a nice job so far on Jermaine Jackson. Talented with the dribble.
He was called for the foul there, his first, and the team's second.
How about his first start against Murray State? I mean, a little bit of surprise that he gets 2 in a row, playing a lot smaller.
John Sanderson started most of the year, but Brian Brown was inserted in a lineup 2 nights ago. They're still scoreless, the Titans, as Alexander missed and Kraft couldn't control the rebound. Penn, the pull-up, along with a three-point try. Jackson, the rebound. And even though he's a guard, Jermaine is their leading rebounder at 6.5 per game. He was 4th in their conference. He has 4 rebounds already tonight.
Good screen. Here comes the double, Sean.
Phillips couldn't get around Brown. Kraft picked off a pass that might have been intended for Ferguson. Alexander swatted by Johnson and out of bounds.
And a little whoop as well. Boy, interior defense like that, Sean, it's going to be awfully hard. They're going to have to settle for jump shots, Detroit.
Ohio State pitching the shutout at our first timeout.
Ohio State's got a 7-0 lead. Jim O'Brien told us earlier that one of his big concerns is Scooney Penn. Penn insists he feels fine, but ever since he injured his lower back on February 27th against Penn State, his numbers have dropped a little bit. In the first-round game against Murray State, Penn was just 2 of 12 from the floor with 7 points. His shooting has definitely been affected, and O'Brien told us if Penn's not 100%, we are very, very average. But right now, Penn's got 3 points and 4 rebounds, and Ohio State looks better than average. Sean, Bill?
They were far less than average last year without Scooney Penn. Won just 8 games. They said in practices last year when Penn would play with the walk-ons and the other deep bench players, they would routinely beat the regulars when they scrimmaged.
And Scooney would say the faces, he felt so badly for his teammates. All the losses and knowing the hard work, different atmosphere. And I think that trip to Europe under Rick Voyages for him running the point has certainly helped him adjust.
Penn said that was the toughest part of last year's. Not just the not playing, but going in after tough losses when the team played so hard and seeing the look on their faces, wanting to be able to do something to help them, but he couldn't. Ohio State patient on this possession. Detroit is now 0 for 8 from the floor. The foul on Jermaine Jackson is his first. Brown a strong drive. Singleton the putback. And he'll go to the line. Jason Singleton, one of 3 Buckeyes from Detroit. Ken Johnson and Shamar Herron, also from Detroit. Singleton and Jermaine Jackson played AAU ball together.
And Sean, when you see this, just look at all the help, and it's going to free up Brown in the corner. I mean, they're concentrating so much here. He's got the opportunity now, the little screen, the blow by, the unfavorable kiss release, but inside position by Singleton.
He made the first. He's just a 56.5% free throw shooter. Jason's a senior. Needs 14 points tonight to reach 1,000 for his career. Prior to this season, Singleton and the other senior, Deshaun Coleman, who's out of action tonight with strep throat, had lost twice as many games at Ohio State as they had won over their first 3 years. They're the only 2 seniors to stick it out as 5 who would have been in the same class as Singleton and Coleman were asked to leave by Jim O'Brien as he tried to clean up the program on and off the court.
Said they have confidence now. Red tees it up.
And Michael Red missed the runner. And he got called for a reach-in foul on the follow-up activity. First foul on Red, the 3rd on the team. For complete tournament coverage with live scores, stats, and more, check out Tournament Live only at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline.
Pitching a shutout now, you got to make sure you get something with the dribble drive. So I don't think he can settle outside.
5.5 minutes into the game, Detroit has not scored. 0 for 8 from the floor, 5 of them 3-point attempts, and Scooney Penn called for riding Rashad Phillips. That's the first on Scooney.
I have to give a little bit of ground. Rashad very clever with the dribble. Phillips can blow by him. They go zone on all the out of bounds. Ohio State.
Atari Alexander to Rashad Phillips with the hairdo and the number 3. Invites comparisons to Allen Iverson. There's a block. Alexander had it blocked by Jason Singleton. Rashad Phillips says, my father is my role model. Virgil Phillips, not Allen Iverson.
His father brings a ton of kids during the course of the year to the games at Callahan Hall.
Brings them based on merit. He works with youth groups, and if they can pass reading tests and similar other activities, then he'll bring them to a Titan game.
Terrific, and of course he's a great example for the kids. Worked hard to become a player and a student.
Jackson missed. More than 6 minutes in now. The Titans still have not scored, but as we said, they had 2 droughts just like this one last night and survived to beat UCLA because the defense was so good. 56-53 was the final. Red, strong drive. That's a charge, and that's the second foul on Michael Red.
So you take 8-0 down with Red having 2 if you're Perry Watson. A little over penetration. Scooney Penn earlier wisely avoided by sliding by, but right here, no try to slide by or pull up, establish the pivot foot, and Jimmy O'Brien live it, saying he got fouled before he made the contact.
The Reds going out. He's replaced by Boban Savovic, number 21, the freshman from Yugoslavia. Daniel Y has come in for Detroit, wearing number 15. He had a memorable final 2 minutes last night. Scored all 4 of his points in the last 2 minutes, including a memorable runner with the shot clock running out. Here's Y. He's going to hoist a 3 and rattled out. Penn couldn't get it to go. Jackson ahead to Phillips. Phillips pass deflected away by Singleton. Tom Harrington says out of bounds. Last touch by Detroit.
Pretty good balance against that break. I thought maybe it should have gone back to Detroit. But down the other end, Perry Watson's players very attentive to stepping in and picking up a charge. Scooney close to one on the last trip.
Ticking down to 7 minutes played. 8-0 Ohio State. Penn. Ohio State squandering an opportunity here to bury Detroit early, perhaps. Ferguson tried to surprise Brown from behind. Here's Savovich, who spent 1 year of high school ball in New Jersey, in Newark and Eastside, where he was living with his uncle after coming over from Yugoslavia. Brown back to Singleton.
Solid. Open up face. Use the dribble wisely. Very well done.
Jason Singleton, a big story early. He averages 9 points per game. He has 5 already. And it's 10-zip Buckeyes. Jackson had it blocked by Singleton. Brown off to Penn.
What a give up. Really solid. Avoid the defender. Make sure you don't charge. Good give back. Couldn't get a better start for Jimmy O'Brien. The opening here is key. You give space. You prepare your hands. A little kiss at the end by Singleton. You mentioned he was playing so well. The deflection a little and the step in. It's the thrust. How about this, Sean, though? Just so much. Take Phillips away. Scooney, no problem for him with the defense trying to pick up the charge.
Now, Bill, I know in your coaching career you've been in Terry Watson's situation many times, way behind early.
Most evenings.
What do you tell your team? What do you do?
Well, they have a pace about them that's difficult. They don't create turnovers to easy baskets at the other end. They're going to have to get themselves in proper position, get the better shooters to bed. They don't have much of an inside game.
No.
I'd like to see, well, Kraft's not in the game, but something down on the block, trying to free Ferguson or Jackson here.
They come to trap Jackson. Savovich nearly had the steal. Detroit very shaky. More than 8 minutes in now without scoring. 0 for 11 from the floor. 0 for 6 from 3. Jackson, their best player. Rebound George Reese just in off the Ohio State bench.
Couldn't beat that trip, though. Pretty good shot. Not bad with the slap on defense.
Reese back to Penn. Penn does look a little bit quicker tonight.
He does. And he said yesterday he felt a lot better.
Without Deshaun Coleman, who is a great three-point shooter, with more threes than any player in Ohio State history, he has strep throat. Didn't play Thursday. Will not play tonight at a temperature of 103. And Jim O'Brien thought that was big in this game because Detroit plays so much zone.
I think they played that zone pretty much because of the UCLA. I don't know if I think it was staying the man-to-man to get back in this.
Ferguson to the baseline. 9 minutes in, Detroit has not scored. Terry Watson said when they went through these droughts last night, Bill, it was reinforcing a lesson that he preaches to his team all the time. If you defend, you can win.
And well, they got to score a little bit there, Sean, at some point. You're right, though. You live and die on the defensive end.
Penn, the tip wouldn't go, and then a foul on Savovich. Nearly midway through the half. It is 12-0 Buckeyes. Well, ugly numbers if you're a Detroit fan. 0 for 13. They've been out-rebounded. Good news, it's not a great number of turnovers. Just 3. Scooney Penn, 7 rebounds already for Ohio State. Ohio State impressive. Detroit is not.
I take umbrage to your inference that I was behind most of my life. You may have been right, but this is a case that Ohio State hasn't helped themselves. I think they should be considerably ahead. Detroit, solid, comfortable. Don't rush, don't force it. Their premier players are on the outside, so they've got to be creative. It's not an inside team.
Well, Detroit's gone even deeper into the game than New Mexico did without scoring early today. New Mexico's first point came on a free throw against Connecticut with 11:45 left in the first half. We're down to 10:23 left in the first half in this one.
A little zone look now, maybe free up Ferguson. He's trying to find holes in the lane.
Rashad Phillips. Finally, with 10-12 left.
It's only a 10-point lead.
That's right. The point is well made. Ohio State really could have put the hammer to them.
What they say, get right early?
It's tough to do that against Detroit. An excellent defensive team. They held UCLA, a team that was averaging 78 points for 53. And out of the corner, Savovich, rebound Reese. And he was fouled on the putback as he bumped into Daniel Wide. First foul on Wide, fourth on the Titans. Tonight on CBS, martial arts superstars Sammo Hung and Arsenio Hall are kicking the fun back into Saturday night. Join the LAPD's dream team in the action series martial law.
And all of this with red with the 2 fouls, too. So, I mean, there is some advantage to them or for them. It's just their inefficiency at the offensive end. Bigger, tougher up front for Ohio State. You're not going to get anything in there.
Jim O'Brien's going to let Red play with the 2 fouls. Reese missed his first free throw. Ohio State is not a good free throw shooting team at 61%. Reese made 1 out of 2. That's his first point for the junior from Columbus, who's really bounced around. Started his collegiate career at South Florida, then went to John A. Logan Junior College in Illinois. Was at Columbus State for a year in between. Then came to Ohio State. Y kept alive the miss, but it was controlled by Penn. Credit Penn with his 8th rebound.
He looks spry. You're right. The lefty released by Phillips, not the kind of shot you want.
12-2 Ohio State. The jumper short by Reddy, got his own rebound and missed again. And it's Bakari Alexander hollering as he comes out of the pack with the rebound. Ferguson passed up a 3. Ordinarily that's his game. A couple of early misses might have made him tentative. Not this time. Another miss. One for 16 now. Buckeyes not a heck of a lot better. Jackson deflected the pass out of bounds right to his coach Terry Watson.
Pretty good footwork by Perry trying to sidestep that pass, but that's their little weave where they use the high post. He is sold on defense. Sensational high school coach. Terrific assistantship up at Michigan when they brought that Fab 5 in under Steve Fisher.
There's the keys to his team are unselfish play at both ends. He says we all beat with one heartbeat. That's the motto in the Detroit program. Shot clock down to 6. Red has to go. Decides to hoist a 3. That's the weakest part of his game. Reese the offensive rebound and miss. So the Buckeyes continue to squander chances to make it much more difficult on Detroit.
And Reese has been terrific on the glass.
Jackson bounced past the Phillips. The runner, a little too strong. Savovich got a hand on the rebound but couldn't control. And the 3 wouldn't go for Darius Phelan.
And even their good shooters are struggling. What a ball fake by Phillips on his penetration earlier.
So it's still 13-2. 7:40 left in the first half. Penn fouled on the drive by Phillips. His second. The team's 5th. Timeout. While they try to crank up the shooting eye.
In for the Titans number.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS Sports.
Mr. Kegler's class at Maxwell Middle School is measuring saguaro cacti.
Saguaros stick up a lot of water during the rainy season. We're going to see if the circumference changes through the course of the year.
They're graphing their findings with Microsoft Excel.
Sometimes you get the results you expected, sometimes you don't.
These kids are learning that they can use technology to understand the world.
Science is life, actually. I don't know how to reduce it from that.
1 potato, 2 potatoes, 3 potatoes, 4, 5 potatoes, 6 potatoes, 7 potato balls.
Chevy Venture now has available seating for 8. Perfect for when you're expecting the unexpected.
5 potatoes, 6 potatoes.
incredible. The readings are off the charts.
Back in Indianapolis, Ohio State leads 13-2. Let's bring in Michelle Tafoya.
Sean, thanks. Jermaine Jackson came to practice yesterday in a Superman t-shirt. He says he owns several of them, so he wears them as he prepares for big games. He says he feels like he kind of has to be Superman for this team, and during the season he has been. He leads the team in assists, and as you mentioned, surprisingly, in rebounds, which is pretty super for a point guard. But Sean, right now, he could use some extra kryptonite. Back to you.
Indeed he could. Maybe they sent him into the phone booth during the timeout. No points, 3 rebounds. He did tell us yesterday he has 3 or 4 of those Superman t-shirts because he wears them all the time, and if you only have one, it might cause a problem.
Cleanliness.
Yeah.
Because 0 for 4, that's like Jimmy Olsen numbers. Got to start lighting it up. They're getting good looks, just not converting.
John Sanderson into the game now, ordinarily a starter, bench player here in the tournament, wearing number 33. Ohio State shooting 26%. They've missed their last 7 shots, but they still lead by 11.
That's that flex cut. They got a great pass, didn't squeeze it inside by Brian Brown.
Jackson looks to the bench. He's out there with Ferguson, Beelan, Y, and Alexander for Detroit. Minutes left in the half. Detroit has 4 points now on the jump hook by Bakari Alexander.
Nice job patiently, and they're not going to double. There's not that offensive threat down low, so you got to maintain position on the defensive end against them.
Sanderson inside, put it on the floor, and they almost lost it again, out of bounds. Last touch by Y.
Give Detroit a chance to get some confidence. That's what's happening right now. Ohio State should have had this game well in hand.
Reese, Savovich, Brown, Red, and Sanderson on the court for Ohio State.
There's that double they like. What a rotation.
Bad pass by Reese. Jackson picked it off and laid it in. And what a scoring spurt this is, relatively speaking.
You're on the edge of your seat, huh? But it's all set up by their defense. Sean, double the box, step in the passing lane.
A 6-1 run for the Titans. And they're down by just 7 with 6:10 left in the first half. We laughed at that 43-32 score yesterday.
This is starting to look good, huh?
Yes, it is. Southwest Missouri State against Wisconsin. That was the final. And the Bears win. Shooting has been terrible. Reese, a wild shot from in close, but a foul on the rebounding action against Detroit.
Everybody's in a hurry, and defensively just terrific understanding of how to double the box, and then we're going to see them react in the passing lane. Jermaine Jackson, here's the double. They did that at Michigan selectively. Perry Watson likes to do it. The rest, a little discard with the right hand and the finish by Jermaine Jackson. So maybe a little spark. That's how they like to score. Well, good defensive position and reaction.
Sanderson goes to the line. He did well off the bench. Gave him 6 points, a rebound and a steal in 6 minutes against Murray State. 65% free throw shooter. Foul on Alexander was his second. And the team's 7. So Detroit is over the limit.
In for the Buckeyes, number 12. And number 23,
Savovich went out of the ball game with Reese. Singleton is back in with Penn. For the Buckeyes, 1 out of 2 for Sanderson.
In for Ohio State, number 32, Johnson.
Ken Johnson's going to come back in as well. Sanderson leaves after scoring his first point.
Well, if anything, the depth should help them. Rotation, got plenty of rest for Scooney. And now the big guy able to get some comfort on the pines. Ken Johnson.
Jermaine Jackson. Almost had it picked off by Red. Ferguson to Jackson. Shot clock at 13. Remains a senior from Detroit out of Finney High School. Ferguson, the floater. Didn't get the roll. Why a little bit early on the jump as that ball hung on the rim a while. Brown. Penn. will settle.
He knows how to pull the plug, doesn't he? Nice flare to the corner in case nobody responded. Scooty Penn gets it to the middle.
Have the youngsters turn away from that graphic. Shooting percentage is ugly. And a foul called on Beelan as Penn and Beelan were on the floor. Tom Lopes and Tom Harrington each blew the whistle. Looked like Harrington was going to call a foul on Penn. And Lopes waved him off, said, nope, I'm calling the foul on Beelan.
And Perry felt this one should have gone his way. That's pretty much a play on, I think, huh?
I don't know how you could call it on Beelan.
Well, ride the pony. That was a game when we were youngsters. But I think it's the quickness of the shot, the excitement. They're just not stroking the basketball. Defensively, yes, they're in position. But some open looks not going down.
Penn made the first. What was Ride the Pony?
That's a little game we played in our neighborhood. We didn't have toys.
Penn has 6. Now 7. And it's back to a 10-point edge for Ohio State with 5 minutes left in the first half. Sean McDonough, Bill Raftery, Michelle Tafoya. Delighted to have you with us from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, which next year will host the Final Four. Julian Van Dyke just into the ball game for Detroit. He was fouled in the arm on a reach in by Brian Brown. That's 2 on Brown. Well, it's a 1-on-1 opportunity upcoming for Van Dyke. Savovich returns and Red goes out for the Buckeyes. Now Julian Van Dyke, a junior from Lansing, Michigan, out of Everett High School, where he's a teammate of Desmond Ferguson, his Titan teammate. Couldn't quite bank that free throw in, and Penn pulled down the rebound.
Everett High School, famous for
Magic Johnson. That's where he went. Savovich missed a 3. Rebound Van Dyke. Van Dyke saw very little action at midseason. Matter of fact, he had a stretch of 5 games in which he did not play at all in 4 of them, but he has appeared now in 18 straight games since. More of a member of the rotation.
Now Perry plays that control kind of game, so he keeps the mainstays on the floor.
Travel against Jackson. 4 turnovers. But the shooting's been the problem. 3 for 21, 14.3% for Perry Watson's team.
And Charlie, look at Perry there. All of their players are from Michigan or the Detroit area. Only one out of the area. He's like Luke Conosecchi. He could coach or recruit with tokens.
Penn drains a 3. Well, last year, Detroit was the only team in the tournament with players from entirely one state. They were all from Michigan. This year, 12 of their 13 active players are from Michigan. Daniel Wise from Columbia, Maryland.
Brown really can defend. And talking to Ohio State players, they said they don't enjoy him in practice, particularly Scooty Penn. Last year, he can get after you.
10 points, 9 rebounds in the half for Scooty Penn. Jackson got stuck in the air and threw it right to Scooty Penn. 19-6 Ohio State, a chance to pad the lead. Brown quickly to the basket. Johnson missed a dunk.
Johnson is coming along, Sean. Defensively excellent, blocking the shot, but here's Scooney's deep 3. Little nylon from deep. He spreads out, and the nice thing, he can play off the ball is run the show. But Johnson with the defensive play and then the run down the floor and catch in traffic. Terrific response.
Ken Johnson, one of the 3 Buckeyes from Detroit. He's out of Henry Ford High School. And usually when we have players who play Division I basketball, we talk about their high school days and their teams were undefeated or lost one and won the state title. Even with Johnson on the Henry Ford team, they were 6-13 his senior year.
Well, what did Jimmy describe him? He loves to play the piano, but he's an artsy guy.
Yes. A work in progress of basketball. He started playing very late in high school. Kind of got pressured into it because of his size.
Artsy guy. I thought they were a little more cultured in Boston. I guess not.
21-6. 3-9 game left in the first half.
And Clark Kellogg back in our studios in New York. There you see with 3:19 to play in the first half in Indianapolis, Ohio State leading Detroit 21-6. We'll keep you advised as to what happens in that game, but we're going to move you to the Key Arena in Seattle. Second round action in the West, where Weber State and Florida are now tied at 30 apiece with under 4 minutes to play. Clark.
2 very good offensive teams, Greg.
Let's join Kevin Harlan and John Sundvold in Seattle.
14th seed Weber State from Ogden, Utah, over the 6th seed Florida Gators early in the game. We're tied now at 30 apiece, under 4 minutes to play. And again, it's been Harold Arsenault who has scored the last 7 for the Wildcats.
And the key now for Weber State is make sure Arsenault gets touches. There's Florida now trying to double team and do some things with him. There'll be some open jump shots. Guys like Lawson and Eddie Gill should find themselves open.
Gill fires and knocks it down.
Quick release.
Weber State on top 32-30. Right to Stoltz. Huge spin and a sweeping hook for 2.
They have scored easily inside.
Hill.
2-3 zone now by the Florida Gators. Lawson becomes a threat outside, as does Gill. Arsenault will move inside and outside. If he can catch the ball in the middle of the floor, he's a bigger threat.
You like the zone?
I do like the zone. Got to find a way when Arsenault goes to areas they can match up. A good ball movement here. There's a good shooting team, too.
Arsenault lost it. Shot clock at 4. He'll reload and travel.
Good call and good thing for Florida. He just buried another 3 after the whistle. The switch up to the zone D. Now Weber State is very good with the pass. Now Arsenault passes up a shot there because Stoltz recovered. They knew who the shooters are. There's the step. 1, 2. Good call.
And by the way, he did make the shot.
Another 3.
Arsenault is now out. 32 apiece with under 3 to play in the first half here. Miller to right. He finds a wide open Weeks.
Kenyon Weeks with a good stroke. They shot the ball well from beyond the three-point line about the last 7 ball games. 56% from behind the three-point line.
You know, John, Florida has already hit 6 threes in this game.
Not surprising. Well, they've lived that all year long.
Venezuela at the half break. Gumpling. Clark Kellogg gets you updated on all the tournament news, all the scores, all the highlights, plus a live look, all the action going on right now in the NCAA tournament. All coming up on Venezuela at the half with John Sumbold and Mike Harris, Kevin Hart in Seattle, which has been just filled with great play.
With Arsenault out, Eddie Gill has to have the ball in his hands more.
Ohio State, the Buckeyes, all over Detroit. Late first half from Indy. Lawson launching a 3. Down it goes.
You have to match up and find shooters and know the scouting report. When Mark Lawson steps in, he's looking for the 3 ball.
Deadlocked at 35. Weber State has hit 4 threes, and they get a turnover there. Lawson in the middle, and down the stretch they come. Gill outside, way off the mark. Jensen hooks it up. That won't fly. Weber State will inbound with 1:42 to play in the half.
Arsenault's going to get back into this ball game. They gave him about a minute rest. Well, they won't allow him in. He will sit and wait again.
He's still catching his breath.
Eddie Gill makes his team run, even when Arsenault's in. The ability to find open play.
Lawson,
good ball movement.
Into Moore, just off the bench, but he threw it away.
A better reaction defensively, though. Crowder.
A Gator turnover. They've got 12 in the first half.
Well, anytime you play at this pace, but Kenyon Weeks simply got caught picking up the dribble, trying to make a play when nothing was there.
Arsenault is back in. Coach Ron Abega. 11 turnovers in the last 13 minutes for the Gators.
And Weber State players have to feel confident because they got Florida out of the pressing situation.
Jackson with the double block and a great fake inside.
The scoop with the left.
Eddie Shannon is in. DePay trolling the perimeter with the screen from Stoltz. Rebound Gill as he had to climb over Miller.
And I think he will hurt you if you go under that screen.
Jackson. Picked up by Miller. Now they've got numbers. Miller with the dance and the travel.
You will not see that call very often when the guy in the middle of his dribble is called for traveling. The smile by Mike Skinny Miller, freshman out of Mitchell, South Dakota. He held that ball in his hands, shuffled the feet. A rare call that we don't see.
22nd timeout taken by Weber State. They survived a second half comeback by North Carolina Thursday. Florida coming in 22-8, the 6th seed, playing Billy ball, the exhaustive style of their coach, Billy Donovan, battled back from a double-digit deficit to eliminate the Penn Quakers on Thursday.
Saw the brackets. Gonzaga, the win over Stanford, and Gonzaga had enough bodies to handle it inside and did a solid job. This Gonzaga backcourt, though, is terrific.
This entire half is swung within 8 points. Weber State up by 2. Florida's been up by 6. Right now, the Wildcats lead it 37-35 with under a minute to play in the first half. Woods to Gill. Alley-oop for Arsenault. Up and down again. Florida cannot inoculate themselves over the show.
The decision, the pass, the catch.
14th seed Weber State leading 6th seed Florida. 14 against 6. It's now 39-35 with Weber State leading with that free throw by Arsenault by 5. Arsenault has dazzled us again. 34 against North Carolina on Thursday. He has dropped 21 on Florida this afternoon. Parker is in. Shot clock is away. What do you call here?
Well, Dupay will go off the screen. Watch Stoltz stepping away after to see if he gets his shot. And Dupay had it. They had the play set up. Greg Stoltz set the screen. Dupay turned the corner. If he turns around and fires it back to Greg Stoltz, he stands there for an open three.
It was off Arsenault. Florida will inbound with 5.4 to play in the hand. He is becoming a major story in this tournament. Harold Arsenault of Weber State. Dupay to Miller, launching a three, short. It's caught by Jackson. Good if it goes. And we're at halftime. Weber State unblemished when leading at halftime, as they did North Carolina. And Florida is getting caught in the Arsenault buzzsaw again tonight. 21 points with a spectacular first half as we send it over to Mike Harris.
All right, thanks very much, Kevin. Coach, you're halfway home. What do you tell your guys in the locker room?
Well, I think we got to take care of the basketball a little better than what we did that first half. I thought we had too many turnovers. We had some missed assignments on defense. We got to clean that up. We've still scored a lot of points, but so has Florida. So we got to clean up our defense. We got to get a little better job on the boards and take care of the ball a little better.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. Kevin, let's go back to you.
We got another great one brewing here in Seattle. That's the end of the first half. Weber State by 5. Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg on deck. Pennzoil at the half right after this message. 16.
Kevin, remember what Florida did, though, to Penn the second half on Thursday night. Penn shot 27% because the Gator defense simply got after him.
It's inside Arsenault. Trying to find Lawson, broken up. And here comes Florida, and over and back on Shannon. Earlier today, Mike Harris spoke with Billy Donovan, the Florida coach.
Coach, how do you slow down Harold Arsenault in the second half?
Well, he's obviously a great player. He got 36 against North Carolina. So, I mean, we're trying to double team him and trap him. He's made some unbelievable plays and just a great player. So we certainly are going to continue to try to do a good job. I thought at times did a good job on him, but he's just got the ability to score on 2 and 3 people.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Arsenault the miss right there. Here comes Shannon.
And that is a good, honest answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
The guy's pretty good. He's scoring on 2 or 3 of my guys. What more can we do?
21 for Arsenault. Billy Donovan scored a Gators.
And I thought Billy did a great job Thursday night making some adjustments at halftime. So we'll see what happens this second half. And I would expect the ball to be pounded inside, established inside game, and then the jump shots open up. This guy had a terrific first half.
Stolt with another 3. He's buried 3 of them.
15 points now.
Full-court pressure again, exhibited by Florida. Timeout taken wisely by Noel Jackson. He's going out of bounds, losing his balance, and they're going to get a tournament.
And Jackson wanted to push and didn't look through nicely at the referee.
Greg Stolt comes in, averaging 10 points a game. And the other night, against Pennsylvania, he scored just 5. So he has been somewhat of an X factor for the Gators this afternoon.
Well, the senior co-captain, I'm sure, wasn't pleased with his performance on Thursday. So he set the tempo early in this ball game when he knocked in his first 2 threes, and now he opens the second half. I would expect the way they pull him away from the basket, but also he was effective down low.
He scored 15 points in 17 minutes. It's a 2-point game with a little more than a minute gone. Crossover by Gill, buys him time.
He's brilliant with a basketball.
Shannon to Kenyon Weeks. Stolt. Screen by Stolt. Great shot by Weeks for 3.
Yeah, good start for the Gators. First 2 shots, first 2 bombs connected.
Look how quickly Gill gets it the other way. Twirling, faking, flying. Well down by Brent Wright. Parker with Lawson. Stolt by Arsenault.
And Parker is solid inside too, being guarded by a smaller Lawson down on the block.
Right, Ohio State now up by 14 as squeaking inside Brent Wright slithers for 2.
A mismatch when he takes Jensen away from the hoop. If Andy Jensen steps out to try to cover Wright, Wright simply takes him off the dribble.
Here comes the shifty Gill.
The high screen and roll, watch the crossover.
Bouncing to Jackson, over everybody. Stolt pulls it down.
Kevin, it's early in the second half, but 2 missed opportunities point blank at the rim. One by Gill, one by Jackson.
Stolt to Weeks and a whistle. Jensen is down there jousting with Brent Wright. Jensen pitches foul number 3.
Had 2 early ones the first half. Had to sit down for a while. You take a look at Eric Ketchum, will probably come in for Jensen.
Jensen's brother Alex in the starting forward slot for the national runner-up Utah Utes. He's from Centerville, Utah.
And they get to play. The Utes get to play Wally Serbiak tomorrow.
What a great game.
Oh, man. 43 against the hometown Huskies from where we are in Seattle, University of Washington.
Serbiak's dad played in the ABA, but really made his legend known overseas in European basketball, where he's fantastic. Jim and Billy have that tomorrow from New Orleans. Wright. Ketchum is there defending. Stolt. Shot clock approaching 15.
And look at the motion on the offense, how open the paint area is so you can make good cuts. Good pass.
Nice rotation and a quick hand and a quick deflection there by Jackson. Shot clock at 10.
Well, Jackson, Gill, Arsenault, and Baskerville. Very good defensively, very active hands. The quickness. Again, the lane area is the reason why the Gators have such good cuts.
Weeks drives, floats. He knocks it down off balance and acrobatic shot. A 10-2 Florida run this half. Weber State led by 5 at the break.
And they've continued with the pressure. Really just trying to speed up Weber State on their shot selection.
Arsenault moving inside. And let's take us back to Thursday when the Gators were struggling against Pennsylvania. Down by a double-digit deficit. Arsenault picks up the foul there. And great maneuvering at halftime. Great adjustments made by Billy the Kid.
Well, first of all, they turned it up a notch defensively. Penn had a hard time getting open shots and open looks. And offensively, they pounded inside against the smaller Penn and opened that game up.
White picks up the foul, and here is Arsenault. From New Orleans. And Mike Miller comes back in. Going out Major Parker. And tonight on CBS, America's Night of Heroes, beginning with an all-new martial law, then Sons of Thunder with Chuck Norris starring. Gators by 2. Miller and Arsenault. Screened by Stoltz. Picked up nicely by Gill.
And they're simply switching the screen, so they can get smaller bodies on them if they do that.
Gill with the steal. He'll launch a 3. Jackson, ever present, lost it. Weeks the other way for the Gators. They've got numbers and options like Shannon on one side and Miller on top. And Stoltz for 3. The ladder, Weeks still won't go. Ketchum is there.
The pace favors Florida. The first half, Weber State players were kind of grabbing their jerseys and resting quite a bit. Florida went to the 2-3 zone, and Weber State was allowed to get their breath back.
Gill flips it up. Rebound by Miller. Gators by 2. Eddie Shannon glides. Miller pops.
I like the unselfishness that this Gator team plays. Find the open man, kicking the basketball.
Good foul call on Florida. Weeks and Gill on the side. Timeout, 15-17 second half. It's the Gators on top, 47-43. Moments ago, Billy Donovan tagged with a technical on sportsmanlike conduct.
Pleading his case after he said something to him that he didn't say something to him.
There's Gill with a technical shot and one more.
And they usually don't take them back.
No, I've never seen one taken back. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Well, it's a 2-point game with the technical 2 points on Billy Donovan.
Well, we'll see how his team responds. And actually, it wasn't done for a purpose. Some coaches do it for a reason. Billy was upset over the previous call before the timeout.
Arsenault got it, but tapped up and in by Baskerville.
Well, created because 3 Gators went to Arsenault. Nobody on Baskerville to block him out. Mike Miller got hit. Slow coming to the offensive end.
5 minutes gone in the half. Ladarius Holden is in the game, launching that shot, wipe it away, and a foul called on the defending Gill.
Well, Holton, a big-time talent. He had shot on his mind right away. Take a look at the foul, the reach. Holton just checked in and ready to stroke it.
And he's a freshman, and he was the Florida High School Player of the Year runner-up to the other Gator, Teddy DePay.
Yeah, what a big-time talent he is.
Weeks and Shannon. Haslam is in, another freshman with Wright.
And Holton can do as the others do. He can pull the trigger. A little more to his game by putting it on the floor, too. Pretty athletic.
Haslam surveys. Paulson.
Play war inside. Eddie Gill at only 6 feet, guarding the 6'7" right.
The Buckeyes blasting Detroit and Indianapolis. Shannon drives and comes up with
what a pretty move. Nice up and under.
Gill the other way. Floating in. Left on the play and a foul. Iowa with the win. Gonzaga with the win.
Take a look at Eddie Shannon right down the middle. Up, under, and through. Pretty play, but you can't hold your breath or stop right there because Weber State comes right back on top.
Miller is bleeding from the lip. And You got a pretty good view of it right there. Steve Milton, our director, and our producer, Vic Frank. Gill hits the first, and now Weber State to within 1 point of tying Florida. .85% free throw shooter from Aurora, Georgia, Eddie Gill.
And Weber State has stayed man-to-man this whole evening. Remember, on Thursday night, they changed defenses a couple times.
In the midst of our 6th tie. Shannon guarded by Arsenault. Right inside. Haslam moving that big body on a spin and a foul. Ketchum picks it up for Weber State.
Simply too big and too strong inside, and you can't let him establish that low post position.
Still working on David Dodge, one of our officials. Looking for Haslam off his fingertips and ricocheting out of bounds.
And he's smart because Dodge was not the one that gave him the technical foul. So you kind of work the other guys and stay away from the one you didn't make happy before.
And a traveling violation on Baskerville as he's ready to end Brownie. That's going to bring the coach out of his seat.
Well, Steve Wilmer told him you have a position and you have to listen to what they say and you have to know the situation. Can run the baseline if they score.
Haslam inside, back out to right. Thought about 3, working on Arsenault. Inside to Haslam, and a foul behind once again on Ketchum. He's got 3.
And Andy Jensen remembers on the sideline with 3 personals. So the big player's in trouble. Good decision by Wright to go back inside as Haslam reestablished himself.
Florida shooting 56% from the field. A 3 and a miss by Kenyon Weeks.
Noel Jackson is only 5'11", but he is so strong with the shoulder. He simply pushed Weeks out and really didn't even jump for the rebound.
Arsenault up and off. He has yet to score in the second half.
Good solid defense, making him earn his point.
Arsenault 0 of 3, had 21 in the first. Holton launching a 3, right between the eyes.
Kevin, what's amazing about Florida players is once they come in the game, they're looking to shoot it. No sense breaking a sweat, working something up. They're looking to score.
Gill to Ketchum. Ketchum to Arsenault. Fumbled it, got it, reloaded. It's Gill. 7 minutes gone in this second half from Seattle. With John Sunvold and Mike Harris, Kevin Harlan.
Good help.
Can't get it. He's 0 of 4.
Good job by the freshman Udonis Haslam to come help Shannon run the mismatch.
Right. Taken off by Baskerville. 3 on 2. They'll slow it up, curling on the side.
Kevin Arsenault's wanted everything on the post, and when that happens, he's easier to double team. He needs to come outside and find it.
Here's Arsenault. Missing again. 0 of 5 in the second half. Weeks. Whoa, and they're going to call him for a technical. He had the fist cocked and ready to fire. The second technical called on Florida. One on the coach, one on Weeks.
And Weber State tired. They're standing around. If Weeks can get rid of this basketball, they'll have layup on the other. Now watch you.
Right there, the right hand.
Yep. The fake, but they will call that.
Now Donovan is calling his entire team over to the bench as he has a conversation with David Dodge. But right now, with the young team in the tournament for the first time in a while, you've got to control and harness the emotion.
And they have Weber State on the ropes. Kevin's, in fact, only hit by 3. But this Wildcat team from Ogden, Utah is tired in the way their body mannerisms. On that particular rebound, there were 4 black jerseys standing there. But again, if Wright or if Weeks simply clears that ball, it's a layup on the other end.
Just taking care of some paperwork on the side, and they'll put Gill, the 85% free throw shooter, with the number 2 scorer on the team. And tonight he is a total of 13, with it staying there, missing his first.
Gill, a solid night in the win over North Carolina. 16 points, a couple assists.
In possession for Weber State.
And Gill hit big free throws down the stretch of that ballgame.
Arsenault is staggering here in the second half after blistering him, dropping 21 on the Gators in the first.
I think he's better, though, popping out and creating something off the dribble. If you catch on the low block, you're much easier to double or triple team.
Weeks is on Baskerville. Halton, the freshman, is on Jackson. Arsenault with Stolt there, the spin, and he lost it. And it's a 2-on-1. Halton from Weeks, and Halton up and off.
Tough angle, Kevin, to convert that.
Baskerville to Arsenault. Shannon is there defending and closed the door. Jackson tripled, lost it, and it's a 3-on-1. And a foul called on Weber State. Baskerville with the knockdown as they crossed midcourt. But watch the straight-jacket defense inside.
Well, the excitement now from both teams, more verbally in the pushing and shoving. The triple team inside. Eddie Shannon makes a terrific block. Jackson on the floor, and as they came the other way, Shannon then was leveled at half court.
This game is taking on almost a belligerent tone.
Well, it's gotten awfully sloppy. And both teams doing a lot of pushing and shoving. Teams look tired, grabbing with their hands.
And if you're on the sideline coaching these two teams, what do you tell them? Guys that have not had a great deal of tournament experience.
Well, the key, obviously, Florida has more bodies that they'll play anyway. So keep rotating fresh bodies in and keep the pace up. Weber State, they just have to understand today our opportunity is the fact that we control our destiny on the offensive end. Take good shots.
Here is college basketball's most courageous player by the U.S. Basketball Writers Association. With only one eye, Eddie Shannon, injured in 7th grade, hit by a rock on the playground while he was out there with his friends. His vision grew worse, and the eye became worse as time went on. They removed it recently, and the depth perception, he says, is his only problem. But the size of his heart has never been in question.
Yeah, terrific player. Did not tell. Most people didn't know about the eye.
Inside to Harris as Ohio State continues to pummel Detroit.
Now look at the defensive quickness by Florida.
Arsenault with the miss and fouled on the play on the perimeter. St. John's will win it today. Maryland will advance. Steve Francis is terrific. Auburn with a convincing win over Oklahoma State, the darling from the Big 12, and the ship steered by Eddie Sutton goes down today. All the scores, CBS.sportsline.com. Harold Arsenault.
And the free throw line is an area where a scorer likes to get his game going. Struggled this half so far scoring the ball when you get to the foul line. Make yourself a couple of shots that gets you going, but he missed the first one. He may be wearing down.
He is 5 of 7. That will rattle on in, bringing the Wildcats of Weber State, the 14th seed, to within 2. 11:15 in the second half and a timeout. Weber State down by 2. They've gone 2 of 11 shooting from the field here in the second half from Seattle and around the country in the tournament. Gonzaga beating the highest seed here in Seattle, number 2 Stanford, Iowa. And Dr. Tom Davis, what a great story he's writing.
I suppose Iowa City is excited tonight. What a terrific man he is.
And all 4 Pac-10 teams are out. UCLA, Arizona, and Stanford with the headliner. Teddy Dupay is in.
This was the spark plug for the second half against Penn on Thursday. Teddy Dupay.
There goes Holtgren into Stoltz. Driving with the left-handed sledgehammer.
Terrific pass, and Stoltz slipped the screen, rolled right down the middle.
The rim is still rocking. Oh, he got up high. 55-51.
Miller will have to give Jackson some room.
Arsenault throwing a bullet inside, knocked away.
Halton with the active hands defensively.
To the trailing Dupay from downtown.
kind of looked like he could have stepped about 3 feet closer, but doesn't matter to Teddy Dupay.
Ohio State leading by 21, and then you see St. John's blasting Bobby Knight in Indiana earlier today. Out of bounds off Florida. Maryland with the win over Creighton.
Ladarius Holton coming off the screen and roll. Greg Stolt recognized. 2 men went, roll to the basket. Good pass and terrific finish.
Touch pass, steal to Jackson. What a pass. 55-53, the Gators, the 6th seed in the West. Miller, 3 freshmen out there now for Florida, leaning in, missing it all, picked up by Gill. And down the stretch they come with Gill leading the charge, feeding it inside, and Dupay kicked it away. They'll reset the shot clock.
Kevin Mike Miller, though a freshman and good with the basketball, has to have more patience with a smaller player on him. Simply get to the paint, gather himself instead of trying to leap and lunge and throw the contact. Gather yourself, just rise up over the top and make the jump shot.
Woods is in, over to Gill, and Dupay will pick him up with 9.5 to play in the game. Jensen to Arsenault. Gill is double. Hooks it home to Jensen. Haslam some pretty good defense. 5-second violation. 5-second call on Jensen. Nobody was there. Suffocating defense by the Gators.
Well, picked up the dribble, but it's probably more his teammates' fault. Nobody got open for him. Come get the basketball.
Weber State has 6 turnovers in the second half. Lost it, the steal, and the numbers. 4-on-2. Jackson to Woods. And a foul on Weber State. Wipe it away.
And Ron Abeglin cannot believe this call. He thought Dupay was backpedaling, and take a look as Miller loses the ball. Here comes a break with Jackson, and Dupay, standing his ground, took the charge.
Teddy Dupay will be at the free throw line. The freshman from Cape Coral, Florida. Highly decorated high school player with an interesting game day routine. When he woke up today, he took 3 showers. Then he ate his customary bagels and eggs. And if you would look inside his shoe, you'd find the number 44 pinned in there. It's in memory of a good friend who died recently. A kid with a tremendous past and an incredible future under Coach Billy Donovan at Florida.
Still saw the numbers from Thursday night. Has had a slow start this evening, though. 1 of 6 from the field. And a rare miss from the foul line.
He's usually right on. 82%. 3-point game. Gators on top. Jensen hooks it inside. Jackson squeezes the trigger but can't get it to go, and Stolt cleans it up. Dupay crashing into the defense of Gill, and a foul called on Eddie Gill.
And Eddie Gill read the move completely. As Dupay pushes, watch Eddie Gill. You want to take a guess? Look at this. Boom. A little bit of a lean there. God, he read it perfectly.
Ohio State by 24. UConn all over New Mexico. New Mexico, of course, upset Missouri and Denver. Dupay will be back at the free throw line for the Gators. Iowa by 10 over Arkansas. 5 over a 4 in Denver. And the first Sweet 16 trip for the Hawkeyes in over 10 years. The big story today, though, Gonzaga over 2-seed Stanford, 82-74.
Santangelo and company, Kevin, can really play.
They are the Cinderella and in the Sweet 16. Another hit by Dupay, who will exit. And back on the floor is senior Eddie Shannon. Full court pressure, John.
Well, Florida has not gotten a lot out of it, but sometimes that's not the key. They want to wear down the opposition. Now it's a lot more aggressive.
Gill in mid-flight had to contort his body looking for any available wildcat. And finally was clamped onto and fouled at midcourt.
Damian Baskerville makes this play. The pass a little bit out of control. Gill leaves his feet. But what Baskerville does is comes to the basketball. He keeps his body in between the defender. A good job, and Wright picks up the personal.
This kid, Gill is something. At the free throw line, Damian Baskerville from Detroit. And he has had an interesting off-court session for Weber State. 2 DUIs, suspended, but now back. All Big Sky the last 2 years.
And this year averaging 7 a game. Last year, 15 a game. Again, with the addition of Gill and Arsenault to the squad, he's had to do some other things.
Shannon with the crossover draws the defense of Arsenault.
And now Gill is guarding Stolt inside. Gill only 6'1", or 6 feet. Stolt at 6'7".
Now Arsenault goes on Stolt.
Good switch.
Weeks wanted Stolt, finds Miller, trying to put up a 3, rebound by Arsenault. He's got 5 in his pocket. Jensen, this guy was called for the 5-second, and it poked away by Shannon. They do not want him holding on to the ball.
Well, it has to get off the ball. Once it comes to him, if he doesn't have a move, he doesn't score a lot of points, especially 18 feet from the basket. Get rid of it.
Shannon lobs to Miller, and gracefully he gets up for 2.
You can see how he gathered himself. Use the taller body. Make sure you don't have to rush things. Good steal.
Miller is on Gill. They call the tie-up.
Should be Florida basketball. The defense created it.
It is. The Gators have turned their defensive screws and tightened it on Weber State. The Gators by 5. We've got a riveting game here in Seattle. It's 60-55 as the 6th seed Gators lead the 14th seed Weber State Wildcats with 7.5 to play.
Defensive battle so far. The key, though, Harold Arsenault. Only 2 points, and you see in the second half, 0 of 5 from the field. Billy Donovan's team has done a solid job at following him up.
Again, he made some nice adjustments. Donovan did at halftime.
Yeah, he did. Terrific.
Weber State, 3 baskets this half and 8 turnovers, and a very quiet Harold Arsenault.
And Florida does not get enough credit for their defense. And again, it was the defense the second half versus Penn. Penn shot 27%.
Miller with the shot clock at 24, so plenty of time. Weeks out to Shannon.
And Stoltz has had the hot hand.
He's now trying to set a screen. Right. Driving by Ketchum. And was stripped of the ball and fouled inside the lane. I think Gill got it.
It looked like Eddie Gill got it. Good help defense by Gill. Right looked like he had an opening. Good weak side recognition by Gill. Where he comes from. He's not even in the picture. Slides across. The reach in, the foul. Right goes to the foul line. 65% free throw shooter.
Brent Wright from Miami. USA Today Florida High School Player of the Year. Raised by his grandmother in Miami. And a guy who appreciates his roots and recognizes friendships. Under his jersey, under his 00 jersey, is another one, a t-shirt with 00, and that is to honor a friend who was shot last year. Missing there, and the rebound is inhaled by Chris Woods.
And let's see if this Wildcat team can get Harold Arsenault back in the flow of the offense.
Baskerville, who had back spasms earlier in the game. Ketchum to Gill. Arsenault.
Kevin, he's not exploding at all. He has not taken it off the dribble. He's hesitant. First half, he would have blown right by Stolt. That time, he was going to kind of go and then just simply stop.
His charismatic play on the floor has leaked right out of him. And Weber State is struggling because of it.
Interesting, though, that Florida cannot pull away. Only 5-point ball game.
Major punt. Outside to Weeks, now to Wright.
And good patience. They're still looking to pound it inside.
And eating up the clock, enjoying their biggest lead in this half of 5. The 3 won't go. Parker had a hand on it, picked up by Baskerville. Arsenault flying to the rack. Ketchum with the tap. Arsenault puts it in.
He looked like he lost control going the first time. But He came back in to make the tip, and that may get him going.
Here, Florida by 3 in Indianapolis, Ohio State by 24. A Florida turnover.
Baskerville, terrific defense on the overplay, the active hand. He has done a lot of good things tonight.
St. John's destroyed Indiana earlier today.
Take a look as Arsenal looks like he loses control of that basketball. Kept alive by Ketchum, and then Arsenal gets another tap.
Maryland is in the Sweet 16. UConn is in the Sweet 16. Iowa, Gonzaga, all there. Baskerville looking for Arsenault, picks it up, plenty of time to shoot. From 3. Weeks grabs it in thin air. He's got 9 rebounds.
And over the top of everybody at 6'4".
Miller to Stoltz. To Shannon. Weeks. Oh, and he took one too many steps as he was detonating off the dribble.
And Miller has been quiet on the offensive end. Only 3 of 8 from the field. The other freshman, Dupay, only 1 of 6, so they've struggled tonight.
We saw Billy Donovan, an unabashed disciple of Rick Pitino. Played for Pitino, coached under Pitino. Pitino and him went to the Final Four for Providence in '87.
Yeah, 1987. Billy was the most outstanding player, Southeast Regional.
Arsenault rips it! This kid brings you right out of your seat.
He's back.
We are tied at 60 with 5 to play. Baskerville slipped. Miller.
Good pass.
To right. To Stolt for 3. Down the other way it goes.
Terrific decision by Wright. Gathered himself, simply kicked it out to the hottest of your teammates. Stolt with 20.
Baskerville doubled and hemmed. And Gill helps him out.
Weber State has such good ball handlers and terrific athletes.
Arsenault again, almost pickpocketed by Stolt. He'll try to gash the defense. Rebound Baskerville. Up and fouled on the play.
But what happens when Arsenal's aggressive? Kevin, the defense goes to him. 2, 3, maybe 4 guys, and so the avenues are open on the offensive glass.
And he has got to be cognizant of pitching it outside.
Well, that too. I mean, anytime you put it in your best player's hands, something's going to happen. If he can draw 2 or 3 defenders, guys are going to be open by the pass, or if he simply gets it up on the rim, they should be able to tap in for rebounds.
Later tonight on CBS, meet 2 private eyes who have learned from the best, from the producers of Walker, Texas Ranger. It's the next generation of justice. In all new Sons of Thunder, a special guest appearance by Chuck Norris. That's tonight on America's Address. CBS. Baskerville drains his first throw as Wright checks out, and the freshman Haslam re-enters the game.
Solid ball game by Baskerville. 8 and 7 now. Solid defensively. He's come up with a couple steals.
Weber State from the line tonight, 15 of 18.
Kevin, the role players are always the ones that make the difference in advancing in this tournament.
Like Miller and Hansel, and a foul called on Ketchum of Weber State.
Good post down low once again by the big freshman Udonis Haslam. Gets great low post position.
Haslam will be at the line. 63% free throw shooter. He's a freshman from Miami, leading his high school team to 3 consecutive Florida high school championships. Ketchum has his 5th, and he is gone with less than a minute to play in Indianapolis. The Buckeyes are going to the Sweet 16. Beating 12th seed Detroit, as will UConn and St. John's in Iowa, and down the line they go.
Andy Jensen will re-enter this ball game. A new father. His wife Micah, baby boy Andrew Brock on Sunday.
He's 25 years old.
Already talked about his brother Alex, University of Utah. Though the parents are here in Seattle because this is Andy's senior season.
Adonis Haslam. Everything you miss now is going to be crucial.
Becomes a possession game, Kevin. How you handle things, what shots you take, and you have to make free throws.
He gets it, and we are under 4 to play. A timeout taken. The 6-seed Gators lead the 14-seed Wildcats by 2.
How do I look? How do I look? How do I look?
Very good. I must say, I'm amazed.
I am a very stylish girl.
The new Volvo S80. My goodness.
A very stylish girl.
Really? It's go time.
Hey. That creepy mouse with the goggles is back in my apartment. Really? Can I hang here?
Absolutely.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
I used to be a car racer.
Oh, wow.
It started as a vacation, grew into a passion, and eventually led to a career. But you had your
14th seed is trailing 6-seed Florida 64-62. Weber State beat North Carolina shockingly on Thursday. The Gators got here coming from a double-digit deficit to beat Pennsylvania on Thursday as well. And so this is where we stand. Unheralded Weber State from Ogden, Utah, against the Gators of Florida with one of the young up-and-coming teams in college basketball.
And Teddy Dupay inserted in lineup.
He called a timeout. He called a timeout on the floor with everything caving in on him. Chris Woods, a freshman from East Chicago, Illinois, and the presence to get the timeout in.
And the Gators have had few opportunities to come up with steals tonight, and that was one, and they missed out.
Take us inside each other.
I think the key for Weber State, obviously live, you see the active hands by Eddie Shannon, Mike Miller not being able to corral it. Can't tell if that's, so that's Haslam can't get it. Good presence to call a timeout, but I think Weber State, obviously Arsenault is the guy you want the ball in his hands at the right places on the floor. Maybe the wing away from the basket. If he gets it on the post, that's usually a double, triple team. He's had trouble with that. Eddie Gill is the other guy. He should handle it and find his teammate Arsenault. Those are the two main guys. They can both create off the dribble. They can both shoot jump shots.
Arsenault had 36 against North Carolina on Thursday. And tonight he's got 28.
And Billy Donovan is going to a 2-3 zone.
And what do you think of that?
So look for Eddie. Good call, but look for Eddie Gill to try to find some opening. Terrific outside shooter.
The Buckeyes going to the Sweet 16, 75-44 over Detroit.
5 seconds on the shot clock.
Gill, the crossover, lost the ball. Shannon gets it to Dupay. Up and off. Haslam can't slam it. He hung on the rim and a technical foul. The third on the Gators tonight.
Well, Shannon with the great strip. Dupay the push, and you know what? Gill makes a terrific effort to get back, and Haslam simply doesn't corral that basketball with his hand. Look at the play by Gill, though, the hustle. He could have given up. The technical, because hang on. Haslam simply doesn't get the basketball in his hands.
Haslam is saying that he was trying to protect anybody else that might have been in his wake, thus hanging on.
And at 260 pounds, he might be right. Most guys running underneath that. Big break, though, for Weber State.
Gill has been to the line often tonight, where he is 6 of 7, coming in as an 85% free throw shooter.
Yeah, led the Big Sky in free throw shooting. Hit the big ones down the stretch in the win against North Carolina.
This could tie, and it does.
Big break for the Wildcats. Now again, Eddie Gill should have the basketball. Either himself or Arsenault, because when Arsenault gets it, it has allowed avenues for Jackson and Baskerville to hit the offensive board.
Cinderella has already let in Gonzaga. Will they let in Weber State? Intercepted by Stolt.
Simply read that the whole way. The senior, the co-captain.
13 turnovers in this half for the Wildcats. DePay to Weeks to DePay. Goes by Gill with a great fake. Rebound is brought down by Arsenault.
And had a look, but DuPay now only 1 of 8 from the field tonight.
Miller orchestrating again the zone 2-3.
And have not had any looks the last 2 times down. They forced it against the shot clock. They were stripped and the turnover last time.
Baskerville looking to pry open something.
Trying to be patient. You can't stand though. Now the shot clock gets down to 12. They need more movement.
Arsenault's on the perimeter, and Gill wisely calls a timeout with 9 to shoot and 2:21 to play. Welcome, folks, to the NCAA tournament. We are tied at 64. Wow. Florida, 21 to play, and following basketball, it's America's Night of Heroes, beginning with an all-new martial law. With Sammo Hung and Arsenio Hall. Then, on the producers of Walker, Texas Ranger, the next generation of justice, Sons of Thunder. All tonight on CBS. You see the shot clock down to 7. Arsenault, the spin. He hit it! Bingo! An incredible shot by Arsenault! That was out of this world! Two-point Weber State lead.
Stolt has had the hot hand for Florida, but he can't stand inside the post and not receive the basketball.
And the steal by Gill.
And the fans in Key Arena are trying to find another Cinderella.
We've already seen Gonzaga today defeat Stanford. Last year's Final Four team. Jackson, Baskerville, Gill. Shot clock is at 6. Jackson for 3. Rebounded by Shannon. Here he'll come out of the blocks and off for the races. Timeout, Florida.
Yeah, good timeout by Billy Donovan. They've been unorganized on the offensive end the last couple times down.
Florida has 1 full timeout in 2:20. Weber State left with 1. Arsenault's got 28. His Wildcats lead by 2. Great play by Harold Arsenault here.
The shot clock's going down, and look at Stolt comes in. He's already trying to block him out, but they thought Jackson was going to shoot. The fadeaway up and above. He's had a tough second half. None bigger than that. 36 on Thursday, 30 tonight.
66 points in 2 games. For complete coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. Our stat of the game here.
Florida shot the ball well. Not the right guys at the right time. We'll see what they set up here. Again, the hot man has been Greg Stolt. Now a 3-2 zone defense by Weber State. First time we've seen it all game long.
You like it?
I like the decision. It slows down the offensive movement. Good pass.
Right outside to pay for 3 in the lead.
How about the freshman?
Florida has been scoreless for the last 3 minutes until that shot by freshman Teddy DePay.
Had missed most of his shots, only 1 of 8. Not bashful.
2-3 zone by Florida. Timeout Weber State. That is their final timeout. Ted DuPay hits a big-time 3. The Gators by 1 with a half minute to play. Another mesmerizing game from the West region in Seattle with John Sundvold, Kevin Harlan. Ted DuPay just buried a 3, which gives the Gators a 1-point lead with 36 seconds to play. What about these teams now with a half minute to go, John.
Well, 14 seconds left on the shot clock, so Weber State has something probably set up by the timeout. Again, Arsenault and Gill are your weapons. Put it in their hands, let them create. Baskerville and Jackson can get something off one of those two if the double team comes.
Gill with 3 on his mind. Rebound fought for, clamped onto by Stolt. And it's a foul inside on Gill. And the Gators to the line, leading by 1 and 27 seconds left.
Solid block out by Miller and Stolt.
Arsenault with 30, a quiet second half after a scintillating first half with 21.
A spectacular start again. Billy Donovan's ball club adjusted at halftime. Made it more difficult to Arsenault, but I think, Kevin, he's become tired, especially early in the second half. Now finally gotten his legs into him and scored a couple baskets.
Greg Stolt has been a terrific story for the Gators today. John told you in the first half his dad played college basketball with ex-Bulls coach Phil Jackson. He's got 21 points tonight after coming off an 8-point game Thursday. 2-point game. Gill and Shannon is tagging along.
And Lawson is the shooter if he can find some opening.
Shot clock is off, under 10. Jackson fouled by Weeks, and it's 3 shots at the line.
The ball movement had the defense adjusting. Noel Jackson, not known for his great outside shooting, but watch the ball fake. The lean in, the contact. What a finish.
3 shots coming up for Jackson. He can give him the lead with 8 seconds to play. The Gators by 2. Noel Jackson, a 66% free throw shooter. This is his first trip to the line tonight.
And down the stretch against Carolina on Thursday. Made 1 of 2 towards the end of that ballgame.
3 coming up, the first of which is in. And it's a 1-point game and a timeout by Florida. They're trying to freeze him.
Good job by Billy Donovan. But he has 2 more free throws.
Weber State is out of timeouts. Florida has 120, and that's it. Now take us inside that huddle.
Well, one thing is he's talking about the opportunities. If both are made, he has another 20. They may push it to half court, then call the timeout. Some coaches like to do that. I would expect if he does make one or makes them both, Billy Donovan has something with a high screen and roll involved with Stolt, Dupay, the 2 shooters that can shoot it, Miller in one of the corners.
Following basketball, Martial Law and Sons of Thunder, starring Chuck Norris. On the line tonight, an outstanding 86% for Weber State. They beat North Carolina to get here in what has been the biggest upset so far the first 2 rounds. Jackson again. Now what?
But he has to make. That's the key. If he misses and Florida gets the rebound, you shoot free throws. It's simply that.
He is here because he was fouled while taking a 3-point shot. If he hits it, he ties.
And if he makes it, Florida does no worse than go to overtime. They're going to take the last shot. Teddy Dupay has to be careful. Jackson, terrific defensively with his hands.
Dupay, the drive for the lead. Loose inside. We've got overtime in Seattle. This game has been played thick with emotion all night long. And it's not over yet.
Incredible. The readings are off the charts.
All right, here we are at the University of Arizona, where we're going to prove that people love the taste of Pepsi One. You don't want to drink that. Here, enjoy the taste. Enjoy the way that tastes.
This is great.
Whoa. That was the best stuff ever! March Madness, you like the way it tastes. Drink it, drink it, drink it, drink it, drink, 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 drink. Good.
Good. The one is good.
It's coming out his neck.
New Pepsi One with a new secret recipe that makes it taste too good to be called diet.
The final play for the Gators, 8 seconds is plenty of time to go coast to coast. Teddy Dupay simply takes a one-on-one, but Jackson, again, slows him down. So the opportunity to look for teammates is not there, not the shot they wanted. Overtime, solid defense by Weber State. The reaction.
And they survived a 27% shooting second half. How much they have left in their tank? You thought early in the second half they were looking weary.
Well, the tank now refills for overtime. You have an opportunity. This is all you ask yourself. Give us a chance to win the last 2 or 3 minutes of any ball game.
With John Sungold and Mike Harris, Kevin Harlan from Seattle. We are in overtime, and we're tied at 68.
And Weber is 3-1 in overtimes. Kevin, they won a double overtime against Rice. They won 4 overtime against Eastern Washington. And Florida 0-1 in overtime games. They lost the last regular season game at Vanderbilt.
Gill missing the 3. We're jousting inside. It's off Weber State, and the Gators will get it. Iowa wins today. St. John's clobbers Indiana and Bobby Knight. UConn convincingly with their win, and Gary Williams is going to the Sweet 16.
Florida has not gotten much out of the half-court offense the last 6 minutes of this game.
Wide open is Stolt, and a great hesitation inside for 2.
Good pass by Wright, high-low, and Stolt. What a terrific night he's having, 23.
6 assists for Wright. With the length of our game, there will be no martial law tonight. Sons of Thunder immediately after the game.
2-3 zone. Arsenal has to be more available than simply standing. He can get the ball in the middle of the floor.
Jackson, who tied it with those free throws. Trying to dance on the mismatch with Miller. Shot clock is at 7. Gill shimmies inside, can't get it. Rebound through the hands of Jensen, tied up with Miller, and they call a jump ball. And on the tie-up, it will go to Florida.
Give Eddie Shannon the credit for this. Jensen thought he had the ball. Shannon came back from the guard spot. Loose ball, possession arrow.
This was the second overtime game of the tournament. Yesterday, a thriller between North Carolina, Charlotte, and Rhode Island. Stolt is unstoppable.
Well, mismatch down low. He's got a couple inches on Arsenal. He's physical, turning him loose. Arsenal again. He looks tired during the second half.
Weber State has not scored in overtime.
Greg Stolt, the senior co-captain. The freshman get a lot of publicity, but the seniors seem to win the ball games in NCAA play.
Gill to Jackson for 2, make it 3, and he can't get it, and Shannon rips it down. Due to the length of tonight's game, martial law will not be seen. Sons of Thunder will immediately foul this broadcast. The screen by Wright. Then he got it back. Back to Miller. Rebound Arsenal.
And the trigger's a little short for Miller tonight. Not releasing. Follow through, the hesitation.
Gill. Arsenal has not taken a shot in over 4 minutes, and he leads them with 30 points.
And when Gill stands, he's easier to cover. If he gives up the ball, start moving, because he's the shooter. If he would start sliding through this zone to find some avenue.
Arsenal up and up. And the rebound gobbled up by Jensen, hounded by Wright, and a foul is called on Florida's Wright.
Anytime you go to the zone defense, you're trying to solidify the rebounding down low, but players forget to put bodies on each other. Jensen doing a great job of attacking the glass.
Jensen will be at the free throw line as you take a look at Arsenal. 30 points. Weber State has yet to score in this overtime with 2:22 to play.
New Papa Andy Jensen, 68% free throw shooter. Pretty underrated in Big Sky Conference play. Does all the little things. About 10 points and 7 rebounds a ball game.
UConn is going to the Sweet 16 with their win today. And Gonzaga, the big story, with the upset over Final Four from a season ago, Stanford.
Again, Noel Jackson has active hands. Dupay has to be careful.
Out to right, swings it over to Shannon. Picked up by Gill. The screen by Wright, who gets it back. Jensen is on him. Stoll. He has come unshackled. Dupay on the fly. What a shot!
He hasn't hit them all, Kevin, but he's had the answer. He hit the three-point shot at the end of regulation to put him up by 1. This one on the drive, he's only 5'10", and that might be stretching it, but watch the quick release. Touch off the glass, the contact. Not afraid to take the big ones, is he?
What confidence. This team seems to drink in this kid's call. He's a freshman.
Well, it was his play the second half against Penn that ignited this Florida team.
This is the biggest Gator lead since the first half, up now 75-69.
And what the zone defense has done to Weber State is simply slowed them down offensively. They haven't been able to get any good set. The ball movement has slowed down. The body movement, not much there. Mark Lawson, an outside shooter.
Arsenault takes Dane from point-blank range and can't get it. Shannon gets it, but stepped out of bounds. Says he was hopping to get free.
But give Eddie Shannon credit again. Goes back from the guard spot to try to make the rebound. It's the second time in overtime that he's done that.
Shannon did not begin the season as a starter, but because of other reasons, he was elevated during the year. Arsenault, the catch and fire.
He's at his best, and he simply takes it and tries to do something right away. 68 points in 2 ball games.
Full court pressure employed now by Weber State. Weeks to Shannon. Inside. Great pass from the perimeter. Weeks to Stolt. Out of bounds, off the Gators with 1:23 in overtime.
And Stolt caught that ball and was surprised how far underneath the rim he was. Missed an easy 2.
35 on the shot clock. Full allotment, 75-71 the Gators.
And now you run the shot clock.
Knocked out of bounds by Jensen, and the shot clock second taken off. Dupay getting instruction from Donovan.
And Wright wants him to take it lower so they can get a screen on him.
Now on Arsenault inside, away from the ball. Much to his surprise.
And got Greg Stolt upside the head. Stolt has only shot 2 free throw attempts tonight, made one of them. What a ball game he's had.
He's Ron Beglin, the coach, who might be in his final game with Weber State. Some off-the-court problems, some internal problems with recruiting violations, and he's been told by the university president that he will be over when the run is over in the tournament.
And would he consider coaching in a different school? He said only if it is the right situation.
He's never had a losing season in 36 years of high school, junior college, and major college coaching. Stolt watches that one drip to the side.
Billy Donovan changing his players for offensive and defensive reasons. Weeks comes back in. Teddy Dupay has a seat.
Stolt gets the back end of 2 and annexes the Florida lead to 76-71. Timeout taken by the Wildcats of Weber State. The Gators, a minute 2 from the Sweet 16, leading 76-71.
How do you plan on funding your retirement? Conseco's annuities and mutual funds can help. Conseco, step up.
This is an extraordinary little device, this is. It places your data on a seamless global network, the only global network owned by a single company. Suddenly Paris, London, Brussels, Dusseldorf are 60 milliseconds away. 60 milliseconds. Now, don't you wish you could travel like that? Be careful what you wish for. OnNet from NCAA Worldcom.
Board meeting.
These two young private eyes have what it takes to be heroes. Maybe it's because they learned from the best.
Can't beat that.
Chuck Norris guests on an all-new Sons of Thunder, CBS tonight.
In overtime, the Florida Gators, the 6th seed in this West region, on top of 14th seed Weber State. 76-71, and due to the length of tonight's game, martial law will not be seen tonight, but will be seen next week in its entirety and in its normal slot. After this contest, Everybody Loves Raymond and Sons of Thunder, a new series.
Yeah, plenty of time for Weber to get a good look.
Good ball rotation, Lawson.
And good move by Florida again. Get out to the shooter.
Gill tries to carve some room and does with a great shot. It's a three.
And tried to draw contact at the same time. Tough shot.
Mike Miller, a freshman. Hemmed in. And a foul called on Weber State.
And Miller did what you're supposed to do. Step through the trap. The 2 men on you. Simply use his size and watch him step through. Oh, that's travel. He switched pivot feet. That's why Ron Baglin was up off the bench. He did switch his pivot feet. A break for this Gator team.
Mike Miller, a freshman, perhaps the most recruited kid in high school basketball a season ago.
Take a look at the face of Ron Baglin. That's a traveling call.
Short, tapped, Miller clutches onto it. And then feeds to the safety of Shannon, who gives to Wright, who is immediately fouled by Lawson.
Wright at 65% from the free throw line. Ron Baglin will take their chances. Down 3. Missed his only 2 attempts so far this evening.
Wright hits it. Billy Donovan, in just his 3rd year, 33 years old, was a point guard for Rick Pitino in that Providence team, the Miracle Providence Friars that made the Final Four in '87. Then was a coach with Pitino at Kentucky, so he has learned well, and he's got a 5-point lead in overtime.
And good job again by Florida to cushion this Weber State team from coming down too soon.
Jackson, the floater, hacked that inside. And a subsequent foul called on Weber State with 29 seconds.
And Billy Donovan said at the start of this season, I know we're young, and I hope we're good enough to get to the NIT. Picked 5th in the SEC East, but they finished 3rd. The young players came along faster than most thought. Solid. And they have played well here in Seattle.
Donovan played major college basketball. One time, snapped the padlock off the windows at a local gym to practice at 1 a.m. He may have snapped that padlock again to get his Gators into the Sweet 16.
A young man that likes to compete. Was drafted and tried out for the Utah Jazz and was released, and he was kidding the Utah reporters, those that follow Weber State from Ogden. He said, you know, they didn't make a good decision. They kept that Stockton guy over me. I couldn't figure that out. Tongue-in-cheek. What a job he's done.
Lead is ballooned to 6 with 29 seconds to play in overtime, and a timeout taken by Weber State. 82-74. Due to the length of tonight's game, once again, martial law will not be seen, but will be seen next week in its entirety in its regular slot. And after this game, everybody loves Raymond. And Sons of Thunder, a new series on CBS, starring Chuck Norris, with a guest appearance tonight.
You can see Billy Donovan in that huddle trying to tell his guys to go straight up. What Weber State has done and what they did at the end of the game, they've been jumping into the Florida players trying to draw contact to get the whistle to blow. Ronnie Bagley, it's still only a 2-possession game. They're down 6. They still have a chance.
And he's going uphill. After beating North Carolina and shocking the tournament, Weber State takes Florida, a higher seed, to overtime in round 2.
Good job again by Shannon and Weeks to make Weber State pick the ball up and push it up the floor with some token pressure. You have to go quicker than that.
Lawson, Gill, the pump fake in the final. Out of bounds off the Wildcats in 14 seconds to play.
Good move. Teddy Dupay comes right back in the lineup. One of the best free throw shooters on this ball club, Kenny Weeks, has a seat.
Into Dupay and quickly shackled in front of his opposition. Chevrolet most valuable players of the game, Harold Arsenault from Weber State, with a 2-game tournament total of 68 points, 32 tonight. And Greg Stoll from the University of Florida, the #3 all-time three-point shooter in the history of that program. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need.
Kevin, we always talk about the Florida offense, but it's really been the defense is advancing them to the Sweet 16 against Penn. On Thursday, Penn only shot 27% the second half. And tonight, Weber State shot 51% first half, only 27 the second half also. So it's been the defense of Billy Donovan. The adjustments they make at halftime have been terrific.
6-0 run by the Gators. Arsenault, a long distance three. It's off right, controls it. And the young Florida Gators will dance all the way to the Sweet 16. They have defeated Weber State 82-74 in overtime. So Gonzaga, who earlier tonight defeated higher ranked, the highest seed in this particular region in Seattle, Stanford, will play the 6-seed Florida Gators next week in Phoenix, Arizona.
And that will be a shootout. Gonzaga can fire it. This Florida team can fire it. It should be fun.
Coming up next, everybody loves Raymond and Sons of Thunder. So now for Jen Sunbolt and Mike Harris.
Getty wants to go baseline. Tried to go baseline. Harrington drifted off him, and all of a sudden, zip.
You said a moment ago, a 22nd timeout. You said, Al, that McGetty has a chance to become the best ever. Many are comparing him as a freshman to Grant Hill. And one of the Duke officials said he's Grant Hill with a jump shot.
Well, he's unbelievable. And if he stays to 4 years, which all Duke ball players have in the past, but he's laser beam.
11 points per game. He started out first game in a Duke uniform with 17 points against Fairfield, and it's been uphill for him and for Duke ever since. Corey McGetty, a 17-2 Duke run and a 39-13 score.
We forget how great Duke's defense is. You know, you're looking at their offense, you're looking at this machine that just keeps going and going, but their defense to me is their key. Their defense is what sets the tone. They won't let you ice the ball. They pick you up early. Look at this here. Look at this Avery covering this guy tight.
James goes for the steal. 20 on the shot clock. And they must come down and try and do it again. Here's Harrington. Michael Ruffin sets the screen. Zach Bennett. Burgess out on him. Here's Harrington. And James is right there. The runner, nice move. Greg Harrington, the freshman, out of the suburb of Dallas, Carrollton, Texas. 39-15. In the lane, McGetty fouled.
It looked to me at that time that he took quite a walk on the boardwalk in Atlantic City.
Yes.
Let's count the steps here. Here we go. 1, 2. Skip to the loo, my darling. He took 3 steps.
Traveling man.
Well, he said, may I? Remember that game we used to play as a kid?
Did you ever
say may I, they wouldn't give you the steps.
Did you ever win at Simon Says?
No.
No?
I'm too fidgety. I'm too hyper.
William Avery gets a well-deserved rest. Battier and James also sit down. Elton Brand is back on the floor. So is Trajan Langdon.
You got to remember what's happening here. Duke is not playing against chopped liver. Tulsa's good. Athletically, their bench isn't that good. They can't go deep. Their baseline, their biggest problem is their baseline can't score.
Tulsa comes in 23-9, and they took Utah to overtime in the WAC tournament semifinals. Nice feed. Ruffin to Eric Coley.
That was a picture book play. Feed the pivot high, go back door.
Maggette gets it in the hands of Carrawell. 5:20 to go first half. And Duke up big. Burgess to Brand.
Watch Tulsa's play here. God hits the ball into the high post, back cut. What happened that time, the defensive man, Maggette, turned his head. Now down low, Brand, you can't give him inside position. Just put a body on him defensively.
And we misidentified Daisy Brand moments ago. This is Daisy Brand from Peekskill, New York. And she is having a nice afternoon watching her son and his teammates. 43-17 nearing the 5-minute mark, and another turnover. That's 9 already for Tulsa. Avery. Dish underneath the Burgess. Traveling. Chris Burgess. Out of California, sophomore. Really was more highly recruited or more highly thought of, had a better reputation, what I'm trying to say, when he came in than did Elton Brand.
Yes, but one of the major decisions this year, he might go to the mission. He's a Mormon.
Right.
So he might go for 2 years to the mission.
That one's on the line off Michael Ruffin.
Excellent defense. Everybody overplaying. Tulsa, you got to settle down. Settle down. You're trying too hard. Let the game come to you.
Bill Self.
See, if I was going to play Duke, I would play Avery without the ball for the whole game. I wouldn't care who they gave the ball to. Avery's not going to get the ball if you play against me.
Underneath, Elton Brand. Layup does not fall, so he goes back to the free throw line. Foul is on Ruffin, and that's 3 quick fouls on Michael Ruffin.
They got to take Ruffin off Brand, and they also got to go to his zone. They got to go to his zone. They got to go to a 2-3 or a combination or a box 1 on Avery.
Michael Ruffin from Inglewood, California. 3.7 grade point average in chemical engineering. He's on schedule to graduate. His fiancee, Misty Stewart, made the drive from Tulsa. She is here. There's Misty. And they are scheduled to get married in August of this year. They met each other out the first week of class, and she thought he's kind of a nice guy. And she found out that he had enrolled in a Calculus 1 class, and he thought it was too easy. So he changed to Calculus 3, and she said, I think I'm going to marry this guy. That was when they were freshmen.
I never allow my children to date anyone unless we ran a D&B on them. I want to know how much money their family has.
Family-style due diligence, huh?
Numbers are right.
Carrawell has it, and her, now Avery. Zach Bennett into the hands of Marcus Hill. As the entry pass and the turnaround jumper.
They're trying to stop Duke run-outs, and what happens is they get not enough people on the board.
There's John Cornwell, who has come on in place of Michael Ruffin, and Cornwell, who did not play in the win over Charleston the other night, picks up his first foul.
Once Brand down low gets you on his hip, I mean, his rear end is 2 axe handles wide, and once he gets you on any side of that rear end, you're in serious trouble.
Have you shaken hands with him?
No, I've never shaken hands, but he got big mitts there.
Yep.
That should be a good nickname for him, mitts. But they call him on campus E, or the E-man.
Michael Jordan-sized hands they talk about. And a Magic Johnson-style smile. Marcus Hill. Now, Eric Coley, 45-17.
Avery has really taken Hurd out of the ball game.
Harrington, the putback from Cornwell is good. John Cornwell, 6'9" junior. But Bill Self's team really struggling, both ends of the floor.
Why allow this man to have the ball? He's too good. Don't allow that ball.
Langdon for 3.
He's back.
Obviously, it's not.
He's back.
Yes, he is.
Trey is back.
Duke, among
He's named
other.
after a Roman emperor.
Right. Dad, an anthropology professor. Coley off the glass. Hurd gets it. Takes the jumper. Nope. Eric Coley.
He pushed off Bassier. Battier had inside position and ended up pushing. So now we're in a 1-on-1. Matter of fact, in the super, they automatically get 2 shots.
Not the kind of afternoon Bill Self had hoped for.
Well, myself also, I thought about the 12-minute mark of the second half that Duke, because of their strength and their conditioning, would blow them out there. I didn't think they'd blow them out so early.
Battier. Now Bill Self's going to go back to Sean Williams and Zach Bennett in the blue uniforms, and Brand and Carrawell rest Burgess and James.
James and number 34, Chris Burgess.
Battier shoots one more. Trajan Langdon missed 3 games with a reoccurrence of an old foot injury.
There's Lang. I'm watching his feet. They come down evil, so that ankle is better. Self is so upset, but what can he do?
On the road to the Final Four, the final in St. Petersburg, Florida, in a couple of weeks. Here in the second round thus far, 2:21 remaining in the first, and it has been all Duke, 50-19. Ruffin, 3 fouls, no points, 0 for 2 field goals, and he and Brandon Kurtz both sit with 3 fouls.
Well, I said Kurtz wouldn't last, and I doubt whether Ruffin would last. They got a 31-point lead, and watch Avery and his defense. Not relaxed. Out comes Trajan, tight on Williams. Everyone tight on the man.
Marcus Hill drives, picked up by Avery after the miss. And now a wrestling match, and Avery's going to get this foul. Coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Greg and Clark will have the latest tournament news, plus a look at Wally's World, Miami of Ohio. Wally Zerbiak, what a first-round game he had. That's all coming up on Pennzoil at the half.
That was only the 4th team foul on Duke. Excellent foul by Avery.
Maggette saves it. Chris Burgess. And back to Avery. Right side. James from the corner. Over the top. That'll be Tulsa ball. 1:40 to go before the halftime break. This Tulsa team didn't know whether they were going to qualify for the tournament, had a significant road trip, final regular season weekend. They won at TCU, at SMU. Then they blew out Fresno State in the first round of the WAC Mountain Division. Took Utah to an overtime loss in the semis. Bill Self went for a little magic with a uniform trick. These black uniforms had not been worn by the team before their weekend trip down to Dallas-Fort Worth. Normally at home they wear white with gold trim, and on the road they're blue uniforms, but went for the black. They were 3-1 in black coming in, 4-1, and they're about to go 4-2. Don't forget, you can chat live tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern with our own Clark Kellogg. I might miss my flight for that. Just log on to cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online, enter keyword CBS Sportsline.
You wouldn't miss your flight for an overtime.
Clark will understand if you and I don't chat with him live. Avery. No. Another offensive rebound. 9 offensive boards, along with all the other misery they are dealing, this Tulsa team.
Avery got caught down low that time, and they would have had him stop, but Zach lowered his arms, which created the foul. And again, as I told you earlier, it's over 10 fouls, so we're in a super bonus.
Avery gets the first. And a little shell-shocked. Michael Ruffin. Brandon Kurtz. Hurd. 1 of 2. Here's Marcus Hill. Marcus Hill out of Booker T. Washington. Ryan Humphrey from Oklahoma, also part of that team. And also Etan Thomas. Standout at Syracuse.
Coach K will not allow his team to relax. He still remembers that up 17 points in the Elite 8 last year against Kentucky with about 10 minutes to go, and Kentucky beat them. So they won't relax. They build on leads.
Harrington gets 2 for the Golden Hurricane.
Play for 1 shot.
Final 20 seconds, first half.
Avery should penetrate and kick out to the spot. Might hit it to Trey as he penetrates. There's Trey with the ball now. He should go for a jumper. What elevation by McGetty. What elevation.
There's the perfect punctuation mark to a nearly perfect first half played by the #1 team in the country, the Duke Blue Devils. They lead by 30 at the half. 53-23. And they dominated in every way one can imagine. Now let's check in with Armin Katea.
Coach Self, at least for the moment, too much Duke in too many ways.
Yeah, they're awesome, and they shot the ball terrific. We had to shoot the ball well, or we've got to, and they had to miss, and it was just vice versa the first half. But we're trying hard, and we'll come out and we'll compete the second half.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Vern, back to you, Vern.
Armin. Halftime with our score, the Duke Blue Devils 53-23. CBS's exclusive coverage continues after these messages.
Welcome to Pennzoil at the half with our score at halftime. Duke leading Tulsa 53-23. Duke led Florida A&M by 39 on Friday. They lead by 30 at halftime. I'm joined by Clark Kellogg. Is there anything that this Duke team is doing wrong on the floor?
Greg, you know I'm supposed to talk here. I'm out of adjectives for this team. I will say this. If you gave them a grade for every area and compartment of basketball, they will get the highest mark in everything that you do to win basketball games. We want to lock into one aspect of their game, which is the transition game. Everybody talks about wanting to run. Well, you've got to have some things in place. You need a good ball handler, you need lanes filled, and you need your trailer. We highlighted all 3. Avery has the ball, bottom portion of your screen. He's going to put it on the floor, force defenders to help out. Now, I want to also take note of 2 guys, one on the left wing, one on the right, that forces the defense to honor them, and your trailer, Shane Battier, gets a nice lead from Avery, and that, again, is textbook basketball by the Blue Devils.
But do they have any spurtability?
They've got plenty of that, plenty of that in their package.
Coming up in our next set of games, Oklahoma takes on UNC Charlotte in the Midwest. Temple faces Cincinnati in the East. Miami of Ohio looks to extend its magic run against the Utah Utes in the Midwest. And Southwest Missouri State will take on Tennessee in the East. There have been many outstanding individual performances thus far in the tournament, but the first round contest between Miami of Ohio and Washington treated us to something very special indeed. Miami's Wally Szczerbiak scored 43 of his team's 59 points, leading the Red Hawks to victory and into the second round. Bonnie Bernstein visited with him yesterday and discovered that when Szczerbiak gets it going, he enters a world of his own.
Szczerbiak drives to the hole for two. Szczerbiak, dribble drive down the lane, in tight, in traffic, shot off the glass, and good. Here's why he's so tough as a scorer. Szczerbiak again. Szczerbiak gets it. Oh, my. Szczerbiak's really getting tired. But he still launches and buries another three. Wally World indeed. An all-world performance by Szczerbiak.
Your nickname is World. We've got all those references to National Lampoon's Vacation. You're going to have to give me the skinny on the origin of this nickname.
Well, the first time it came out was my first game at Millett Hall my freshman year. I shot 9 for 9 and had 22 points. And the crowd was chanting Wally World. And then from then on, Coach Coles, who's well known to coin some interesting nicknames, cut off the Wally and started up World.
Last summer, you played in the Goodwill Games. Your team won the gold medal. Who's the leading scorer? You.
It was a change for me, kind of like the game yesterday, because it was in the national spotlight, and I was used to being double and triple team. And when we got to the Goodwill Games competition, it was all one-on-one play. I was playing with great players around me, so I was able to really capitalize on that and have a great tournament.
Is part of you thinking that one of your greatest rewards of playing professional basketball will be allowing your father to almost live a little bit vicariously through you?
Yeah. I think he's enjoying all the attention that I'm getting just as much as I am.
Great job on his part. Young man has been well taught by his dad.
He had a great career, so I don't feel any extra burden to be successful on his behalf, but it kind of feels good because I know he's proud of where I'm going to go.
Miami's going on to the second round. It's Wally's World, and welcome to it.
Wally's dad, Walt, started at George Washington University, then went on to a professional career. You know, Wally scored 43 of his team's 59. As they get deeper into the tournament, he's going to need a little more help than that.
I think you're right, exactly. And it's going to start today when they face Utah. I think Utah has a number of big bodies they'll throw at Wally. He's an outstanding player, great shooter, and great competitor. But he'll run into some big physical guys in Utah today.
All right, Clark, a reminder, you can chat live tonight at 8 Eastern Time with our own Clark Kellogg, just as I do here in the studio. Just log on to cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online, enter the keyword CBS Sportsline. In Milwaukee, ex-Michigan State guard Charlie Bell loosening up with a brace on his injured ankle. Whether he will start or not is a game-time decision in their battle against Ole Miss. That game tips off at about 4:41 in the Midwest. Also slated today, Purdue against second seed Miami of Florida at 4:46 Eastern Time. And back in the Midwest, 6th seed Kansas, 2nd seed Kentucky. Thank you for watching Pennzoil at the Half. We will send you back to the Charlotte Coliseum for the second half of Tulsa against Duke after this message as you watch William Avery of Duke, 2 of his game-high 16 points so far today.
Pennzoil at the Half has been sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
23 over the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Among other highlights, 7 of 12 from three-point range and 9 offensive rebounds. Al McGuire, Duke's going to win this. If you're Mike Krzyzewski, what do you look for in the second half?
What he does, he keeps the pressure on. His team's going to run. They're going to play hard defense. He's never going to change that. As I said earlier, when he got beat with 17-point lead last year in the Elite 8, he's going to build on leads, not give them away.
That was to Kentucky, and right now let's check in with Armin Kateyev.
I got to tell you, Vern, normally, as you know, I'd be talking to a coach, but I found Dr. Clyde Young. How you doing, Clyde?
Thank you.
Now, what's your impressions of the first half?
Well, I'm just real pleased with the way the team has entertained us all year. They're playing almost as good as they can play. They're shooting foul shots better than they have in the last month or so. And they're just a real close family of kids. They're not cocky. They believe in one another. Nobody complains because they're not getting more playing time. They're just a real family. We've been around them for trips for a number of years.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Well,
back to you.
Thanks, Armin. He's a class of 43, and I've got to believe somewhere in his background he's a homiletics professor. He teaches sermons. He plays in the Duke band.
I thought they were going to play a tune without him. That's mean.
That was great. Battier at the line. Foul was on Coley. Let's check the halftime breakdown statistically. 50% from the field for Duke. 3-point field goals, 7 of 12. Missed only 4 free throws. And Mike Ruffin with 3 fouls, no points.
Avery immediately on Herb. Immediately on Herb. There he is. Immediately. Won't give him room to breathe.
Hurd kicks it back outside to Coley.
The trick in college basketball is to get the ball out of the hands of your point guard.
Ruffin looked like a clean takeaway from Langdon, but Jim Burr called the foul on Brand.
Yeah, Brand come at him from the backside, Vern.
First foul of the half against Duke. Now you think back to that Duke lead. They were up 17 over Kentucky. Southeast Regional final. Wound up losing that game, and of course Kentucky winning the national title. So I'm sure not too far back in the recesses of Krzyzewski's mind that lingers.
Well, also what he'll do later on, he'll go to zone and won't go fast break, but he won't call off the defense and he won't call off them running. That's the set for the whole tournament, and he hopes he ends up down in St. Petersburg playing the same way in the finals. I believe that Mike should be in the Hall of Fame. There's 3 active coaches in the Hall of Fame. Bobby Knight, Denny Crum, and the Bear, Don Haskins from UTEP. Oh! Whoa! That was from the dormitory. That wasn't even from outside the building. Best shooter in college basketball.
Trajan Langdon gets the 3. Here's Michael Ruffin, guarded by Brand. Still looking for his first basket. Trying to get position on Brand. Muscles him out of the way. Now Hurd also 0 for 4 from the field. There's the double on Ruffin from Battier. And Hurd gets his first basket of the day.
Watch Hurd now start to play giddy-up basketball. He needed that basket to clear up his mind. Avery just absolutely took him out of the ball game.
There's the entry pass. Battier. Kurtz can't get too aggressive. He's got 3. Carrawell from 3-point range. Rebound, Brandon Kurtz. Now Hurd into the corner for Coley. Eric Coley, turnaround jumper is good.
Nice, smooth. That was smooth.
Like that.
Don't forget, Tulsa's good, but Duke in the first half was just out of sight.
Battier and Elton Brand. Here again, Ruffin can't get too aggressive because of the 3, but Tulsa comes out with the ball. Marcus Hill. Back to Coley, steal, Carrawell.
Here we go, uptown. Mike doesn't want it to be too fancy. He's conservative, but he still went uptown. He doesn't want any 360s or tomahawk dunks or rocking chair dunks. He doesn't allow that. Only if it's the last shot and he's winning in the final game.
Michael Ruffin. Marcus Hill with a runner. Hurd with the follow shot. Not there. Avery puts it in the hands of Langdon. No look feed underneath to Brand for 2.
I don't understand why they allow Brand, or any team allows Brand to have inside position. I mean, it's impossible to stop him once he gets it. What'd you think about Coach K when I said about the Hall of Fame this year?
I like it.
He should be in the Hall of Fame. Why not?
He's taken his position as one of the great coaches ever in this game.
Got 2 national championships. Everything humanly possible has been done. And there's 3 other active coaches there already. Here they go. Oh, nice Hurd. Quick hand.
Got it. And here comes Duke. Carrawell. And the foul is called.
It's on Coley. Got a piece of the ball and a wrist.
And that's 4. Bill Self in his second year as the head coach at Tulsa University. 7 years a graduate assistant at his alma mater, Oklahoma State, where he coached for both Leonard Hamilton, whose team plays later today, Miami, and for Eddie Sutton.
And they put 1 year in as an assistant at Kansas under Brown, Coach Brown. So he's been one of the great coaches, and he put 4 years in, I believe, as head coach at Oral Roberts. He took them from NAIA back to Division I. Major, major move.
Fourth foul on Coley, so he sits.
Well, he won't sit long because there's no use sitting on the bench. You want to try to get into the game as best you can and just be representative.
Burgess got it. Chris Burgess. Now Avery giving Hurd more than he wants. Burgess, outlet pass. Here comes Avery.
It's going to go over to James, I think.
Now takes it himself and gets it.
I mean, you talk about unsung hero. They know him in North Carolina, around the East Coast, but the country doesn't know this guy. I am telling you, he's the greatest thing since 7-Up. I'm telling you, he's outstanding.
William Avery.
I guess I'll end up getting a case of that now, huh? I didn't mean it that way.
You are shameless. 15:20 to go. Turn around. Kurtz, no. Burgess rebound. 67-32. Duke going into the Sweet 16. They will play next week in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
And they like East Rutherford. They have a lot of alumni up there. They got a lot of Subway fans up there. And they have an unbelievable record at East Rutherford. Watch this dunk coming from the baseline.
Well, when you graduated in 43, you need a little break from blowing the trumpet.
He wants to talk again.
Guy knows the camera.
He doesn't want to play the trumpet.
He'll be watching 60 Minutes tonight on CBS in Alaska. The only thing better than finding oil is not finding oil, still polluting the state. 10 years after the Exxon Valdez, then Touched by an Angel, followed by Replacing Dad, the CBS Sunday movie. That's tonight on CBS. Right side. Harrington. Nope. Ruffin gets the rebound. Taken away by Avery, but he stepped on the line. So Tulsa will get it back.
It was a clean pick, and he turned, stepped on the line.
69-32, 14:37 remaining. Domzalski is on the floor now for the Duke Blue Devils.
You know, a lot of people, when they want to feel or know how good Duke is, remember this. They got 4 McDonald All-Americans on the bench.
On the bench.
That's how good Duke is.
On the bench. Domzalski knocks it away from Ruffin, goes back. There's one of them. Damon Domzalski out of New Mexico had 14 points the other night. Now here's Sean Williams. Tries to find Zach Bennett. Bennett tries to find the ball.
7 on the shot clock.
Harrington takes the 3. Got the 3. 7 points for Harrington in the ball game. Sean Williams started at the beginning of the year. He picks up Avery. Nate James.
They're trying to trap in the corners, and what's happening? Oh, here's the breakaway again.
Harrington.
Whoa! He heard steps. He dropped his head. He was waiting for a cloud to be above him. Just said to himself, my fault. See, he heard the man in the back room, and he kind of short-stroked it and missed a simple layup.
Langdon back in for Duke, picked up by Sean Williams. Langdon, Nate James, Burgess, Domzalski, and Maggette on the floor now. Burgess calls for it on the baseline. Here's McGetty. Turnaround from Burgess. Put back by James. Offensive board, Burgess. And out to Langdon, in and out. McGetty fouled. He'll go to the bench. Free throw line.
Bennett reached in with both arms that time.
So McGetty, and they've also, Mike Krzyzewski has an outstanding recruiting class coming in next year. You know, he's really changed quite a bit throughout the course of this decade. There's a wonderful story told by Ron Green in the Charlotte Observer how Mike and his daughter discussed the possibility of the family getting a dog. This was in '93, and Mike said no. When they got home, his daughter Jamie said, "I want to call a family meeting." And they all got together. She had bar graphs, and one showed how we are a happy family now, but the second graph was how we would be more happy with a dog. Jamie won the day. They have 2 Labrador retrievers now, one named Defense, one named Cameron. Oh. Huh? Defense, there are certain zones on the property in which Defense is not allowed.
That's a nice family story.
71-35. McGetty. James left side. And then the finish is not there, but the follow is.
By James. But if we can get a peek at that sometime in the future here, that's McGetty so smooth going down. As I said earlier, the possibility of being the greatest ball player ever to graduate from Duke. And that's a huge statement.
Chased down by Domzowski. Watch Corey McGetty, the freshman from Bellwood, Illinois.
Now he's 6'6". Watch the smoothness behind the back, the adjustment. Now the pass looking the other way. Everything smooth.
73-35. Harrington. Domzowski was a bit of a presence at the free throw line. And now he sets a pick on Harrington. Langdon cans it.
Langdon plays nice and easy. He is the quiet leader. He has a quiet tiger inside his stomach, but he's a tremendous competitor. And he wants to get to the Final Four. He wants a championship. He's never had a championship.
That is the one thing missing on his resume. Here's Trajan Langdon. Marcus Hill. Marcus Hill. Right side, Ruffin.
As I said earlier, one of the problems with Tulsa, their baseline has a difficulty in scoring.
Brandon Kurtz gets that one and is fouled. Battier, Brand, and Carrawell back in for Duke, and also William Avery. Brandon Kurtz. Eight points for Brandon Kurtz. 75-38.
See Trey come off that pick that time. Wipe this man out.
On the bench with Mike Krzyzewski, 3 former players for him at Duke. Quinn Snyder to the left, and Dave Henderson, Johnny Dawkins. The 2 Henderson and Dawkins, seniors on the 1986 Duke team. Quinn Snyder was a freshman on that ball club that made it to the Final Four, the final game in Dallas. Lost to Louisville. Brings to mind the point you were making, Al. Trajan Langdon. The one thing missing, and it's a big hole for him, is the championship.
Yeah, he's done everything else in basketball. And his career will obviously continue for many, many years.
Here's Langdon. Now Carrawell. Langdon, Domzowski, the only 2 seniors on the ball club. Scholarship seniors, that is. Several walk-ons.
But you got to remember with Duke, they have a solid 9-man rotation with no fear. I mean, you have no fear when you go to the 9th man. That's a luxury few coaches have. Normally when you go by your 7th man, you kind of get hiccups or you break out in blotches.
17 points for Elton Brand.
Good body control, athletic move.
Brand dives for the loose ball. Michael Ruffin kicks it outside. Marcus Hill. Nope. Avery. Carrawell's down court. Brand. Avery. And William Avery is going to go to the line. Watch Brand underneath here.
Well, he's down low solid. And one of the reasons that they kicked the ball down to him off a temporarily missed shot. And the balance with Brand up high with that size and that weight, he has dancing feet. He now has 17 points.
And William Avery at the line. Near the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we'll select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. To date, Chevy has contributed over $7 million to the general scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. Michael Ruffin clears the ball after the miss and gets it to Greg Harrington. Now Eric Coley. Kurtz tries to find Ruffin, knocked out of bounds by the Blue Devils. Battier and Bill Self's team will throw it in.
Just fascinating, the defensive, for the size of these fellas playing defense at 100% at all times.
Ruffin misses the attempted dunk. Langdon. Rejected. Goaltending on Ruffin. 12 points for Langdon now after the ball knocked away, but illegally so. 80-38.
Nice shot here by Langdon. Above the rim. Ruffin interfered with it. Automatic.
Now you posed the question about this point in the Florida A&M game. Would Duke get to 100? You want to play that game again?
Would Duke get to 100?
Yeah, you said they would the other night.
And they didn't. They got to 99.
Right.
I would say they hit the century mark. They're going to get to 100. I hope I can catch Mike's eyes over here. That I said they'll get to 100. That's a long way to go in 9 minutes, but I think they'll get there.
All right.
And they won't get there with fast breaks. They get there with half-court offense. Because Mike will fall off the wool.
Oh, yeah. Carrawell and Brand.
Get off me, brother! No!
Nope. On the court, Marcus Hill has it for Tulsa. Nice spin move. Nice move, Marcus Hill.
Hill is a major part of their offense.
Battier comes right. Nate James getting ready to come in for Duke. That's for three, not there. Marcus Hill with a rebound.
Battier finally missed a three. You must have heard me saying they got to get to 100.
Well, they've been there 9 times this year. At 50 at the half. That's going to be Duke ball. Nope.
Ruffin did reach his hand in, but the ref had a better angle than we did from the baseline.
Substitutions now. Corey Maggette and Nate James on the floor for Duke. Langdon heads out. So we've got Burgess and Maggette, Avery, Brand, and James on the floor for the Blue Devils. Ruffin is fouled.
There's no drawing on the Duke team. There's no trash talk.
The ball was dribbled out of bounds
by Mr. Hurd.
Tony Hurd with the turnover. 16 turnovers. Duke protecting the ball very well. They've only had 7 in the game. Here's Avery.
Watch Duke spacing. Always got good, solid spacing.
That's for 3. James. Another sophomore on this ball club. James goes for the steal, gets it. Brand, Avery, it'll be James.
Nothing fancy, just a simple dunk, 2 hands, no showboating, no mustard on the hot dog.
You like that?
No, I was more for hanging from the ceiling and swinging in on the chandelier. Nice wraparound pass by Ruff that time.
I know you were that way as a player. How about as a coach?
The same way as a coach. If we won the ball game when I was a coach, I'd cut the town in half. My ball players had half the town, I had half the town. I didn't go in their half, they didn't come in mine.
Anybody ever violate that rule?
No, they stayed in their own half of the town.
All right.
I remember once my co-coach Hank Raymond says to me, I got some bad news for you about one of the ball players. I said, Hank, don't tell me. Coach, if he told me, I'd have to do something. I said, don't tell me what it is. I don't want to know.
Avery, Brand out. Domzalski back in. Brandon Kurtz shoots one more. 7:23 remaining in this one. Duke cruising. 7:23 left in the game. Duke cruising 85-45. They've hit over 52%, right at 52%. Limited themselves to 8 turnovers, 23 points off the 18 turnovers.
Well, they're going to create turnovers mainly because of Avery. I could stay here and speak for 2 hours about this guy Avery. I never thought in my wildest dreams that he was this good.
Avery getting a rest right now, so Langdon at the point. McGetty, Burgess, Domzalski, and Nate James on the floor for Duke. Well, they've averaged 94 points per game in posting this 33-1 record, and they will reach, if not surpass, that today.
You'll notice now, Vern, with Avery out, Langdon will take the point position, but they're not as smooth. And they're not as smooth in covering the the point guard on the opponent team either. So that is one Achilles, one soft spot in their program if Avery ends up getting injured.
Tony Hurd has it at the point for Tulsa. Brandon Kurtz. Michael Ruffin has been blanked. He's still looking for his first basket, first point of the game. Harrington for 3. (85-48). Now McGetty, Eric Coley guards him, and Burgess.
Kurtz come down with a powerful rebound that time.
Harrington dishes to Ruffin. Oh, still can't get it.
Still can't get off the snide. He averages, I think, between 10 and 11 points per game.
No points, 0 for 3. And he's played all this second half with 3 fouls. Low point total for the season, 3. One of the games against TCU.
If you'll notice in the last couple of minutes, there's not that smooth flow with Avery out of there.
Langdon, Ruffin with the rebound.
A little bit too much static compared to before. I mean, great club out there.
Right.
But he's just the guy that puts all the pieces together. And such an improvement since his freshman year, mainly in his decision making.
Brandon Kurtz, nice moves. And he gets the basket from short range. Kurtz has 12 points now. 85-50, 5:10 to go.
And what Coach Mike has done, he's made it now a half-court offense, which I told you would do, not to completely bury Tulsa. James ends that thought for the 3 ball.
He didn't. He wasn't in the delay game.
But they're not getting off the races and not pushing hard defensively up court to turn you over.
Second game here, Tennessee, Southwest Missouri State. Steve Alford's team facing the 4th-seeded Volunteers, and the winner of that game will get Duke next week in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That one won't fall for Kurtz. Chris Carraway coming back on the floor for Duke. Trajan Langdon will get a rest.
See, well, what they do with him, they like to try him at point guard. Now watch, they'll give him the ball and try to get some action. What Coach Mike is doing now, he's playing through this game into the next game. See, they got him with the ball. They want to use him as point guard. I think he's too tall for point guard.
Burgess. Now Maggette and Marcus Hill.
Constant movement.
5 on the shot clock. Ruffin with a rebound.
He's going all the way.
And there was Carrawell back. .348 to go. A 38-point Duke lead.
Look what I found. That hit the top of the backboard. Also, the score, the time clock.
8-ball corner pocket. Entry pass with a pass underneath, rather. Count the number of touches here.
Look how high. Look where it hits. The top of the backboard. Hits the time clock. Zip.
Duke has the highest NCAA tournament winning percentage of schools appearing at least 20 games. And they had that total today. Mike Krzyzewski's team back into the Sweet 16, trying to win their 3rd national title of the 90s. They won in 91 and 92, of course. Inevitably, I guess, Al, teams, the comparison begins. You think these guys aren't ready to take their place with that team yet?
No, they can't. You got to win. You got to win something. And one of the shame that happened to Duke was they lost to Cincinnati up in the nook of the Northland before the season. And no team can be rated above all other teams unless they're undefeated. And you only have the key team would be Bobby Knight. I think he did it in 1976.
Right.
And before that would be San Francisco and UCLA.
Damon Domzalski at the line. Now let's check out the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. That would be points off turnovers. 28-8. For complete tournament coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. Domzalski gets 2. He had 14 points the other night. A young man who was a starter early in his career. And one of those McDonald's All-Americans that Al was talking about. Here's a foul called on Simpson.
That is the 7th foul, so it should be 1-1.
His Marcus Hill goes to the line. Booker T. Washington, Tulsa. Got the Imelda Marcus thing working. Does Marcus Hill collects shoes? Bought a pair here.
How many does he have? How many sets?
93 pair now, he said.
Reminds me of that lady in the Philippines.
That's the first one came to mind. Yeah. 93. Added to his collection with a pair royal blue and gray school colors. See, you got to dig deep. You never know. 2:53 to go. 92-52. And Eric Coley will inbound right above us.
You know, it's not nice to say, but what Coach K is doing, he's throwing a party.
Right.
Now he has the 2 brothers in out there.
Right, the Callbeck brothers. They're on the board.
He's not letting you score, but he's giving the opportunity to score.
3-pointer. Carrawell gets the rebound. And we'll bring it up. Carrawell, Maggette, Justin Callbeck, and Ryan Callbeck, the 2 brothers, both of whom were one-time managers on the Duke basketball team, and J.D. Simpson. There's Simpson. Michael Ruffin gets the rebound and brings it across for Tulsa. Maggette with a rebound.
Oh, is he quick?
13 dry. Domzowski gets it. Yes, he is.
Ooh, with no effort, no straining. Usually you run that fast, you kind of, you know, your veins are popping a little bit.
That natural instinct to run took over, though, then, didn't it? He couldn't hold back. Wanted to get down on the break and did. 94-52, Duke into the Sweet 16. They go into East Rutherford, New Jersey next week. That's a Friday-Sunday regional, and they will take on the winner of our next game, Southwest Missouri State or Tennessee. Our Chevrolet most valuable players of the game, Brandon Kurtz from Tulsa, 12 points, 3 rebounds, and William Avery, 19 points, 6 boards for Duke. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. That's a Chevy tradition for 28 years. Now Ryan Callbeck, number 15, will inbound the ball and does so to his brother, the senior, Justin Callbeck. The brothers Callbeck out of Shelburne, Vermont. Well, you got your favorite holiday coming up, right?
Oh, Wednesday, St. Patrick's Day. I want to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day. I'll be in the Big Apple at the parade. There'll be tens of thousands of people marching down in front of the cathedral. I think we should make St. Patrick's Day a national holiday.
Yes?
Why not? It should be. Hey, you know,
well, you are beginning the movement, effective immediately. And you're also trying to get Krzyzewski elected senator, I understand.
I think he should run for the U.S. Senate somewhere down the line. You get all the votes from Wake Forest, North Carolina State, Chapel Hill, because they want to get him off the bench. And the good thing about him running for the U.S. Senate would be he's not a lawyer. And the more guys and girls we send around lawyers around that belt area, the better off for everybody.
He's just going to love you launching his campaign like that.
Well, down the line. Why? U.S. Senate. Start at the bottom.
Second round games coming next. Most of you, or the greater majority of you, will see Miami against Utah. Our second game, Southwest Missouri State, Tennessee. As our coverage of the 1999 Men's Basketball Championship continues. Greg Harrington gets 2 more. He's got 15. .54-54, final minute. Callbeck, D. Bryant, walk-on freshman football player. He'll be a candidate for Duke's quarterback position on the football team. Now Carrawell, up and in. 97-54.
Will we get to 100?
No.
We need one trifecta.
Sean Williams, number 24 for Temple, for Tulsa.
Put up a trifecta. Save the coach.
There's a foul call. Michael Ruffin, just a wonderful career at Tulsa, but what a rough way for it to end. Held scoreless for the first time this season. Picked up 3 early fouls. His fiancée, Misty Stewart. Long drive all the way from Tulsa to Charlotte, North Carolina. Here's Harrington. And John Cornwell will bring it back outside. Williams, nope. Zach Bennett. Harrington again. Duke goes on to the Sweet 16 with a 97-56 victory. Mike Krzyzewski and Bill Self. Blue Devils had 6 men in double figures. Avery 19, Brand 17, joined by Battier, Langdon, Maggette, and Jones. Back with Greg and Clark after this.
On here at the Fleet Center in Boston. And our first game of the day matches Temple against Cincinnati, the Atlantic 10 against Conference USA. Let's take a look at the brackets here in Boston. Temple advanced to round 2 by defeating Kent State University. Tough ball game, won by 7. Cincinnati rolled over George Mason by 24. Now later this afternoon, some of you will see Purdue, who beat Texas in round 1, taking on Miami, a winner over Lafayette. The winner of that game moves on to the Sweet 16. And hi, everybody. I'm Craig Bolerjack along with Rolando Blackman. Good matchup here in game 1 and a good matchup in coaches as well. John Chaney at Temple, who's making his 10th straight NCAA tournament appearance. Bob Huggins of Cincinnati. He's been at the Big Dance Row 8 straight times.
Well, one thing you'll know about these two coaches is that they share a great passion and a great feel for teaching these kids all the things that they've learned over these years, and you know that everyone out here wants to get through to the next round, and he's imparted that on these kids. And the first person that we're going to talk about is Pete Michael. Here's a guy who's a fantastic young player who has explosive quickness, great jumping ability around the basket, and a guy, I'm telling you, with a great partner that can run through the basket and do a great job in putting points up on the board for Cincinnati.
And Rolando, we talk about Temple. There's a lot of great backcourts in the country that get a lot of publicity, but boy, when you look at what John Chaney puts on the floor, maybe none better than Brokenborough and Sanchez.
Well, he has a solid backcourt and also an experienced backcourt. And anytime we talk about a guy like Pepe Sanchez, who is a fantastic player, he did a great job in breaking the back of Kent State, racking up 15 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists and 3 steals. He's a guy who's a defensive ace in the Atlantic 10 and number 9 in steals in this nation. He's a fantastic player and one to watch in this game today.
All right, we'll come back and we'll have the starting lineups as Temple and Cincinnati get ready to roll here in Boston. Jimmy Dykes also will join us with a live report. We'll come back to the Fleet Center after this. 16 NCAA tournament appearances. He's visited the NIT once. Let's take a look at his lineup today that he will battle Cincinnati with, and the front line includes Barnes, Karcher, and Lyde, a big front, and the backcourt, very, very impressive, Brokenborough and Sanchez. And Sanchez, Atlantic 10 Conference, he ranks number 2 in assists at just under 6 a ball game. Ranks number 3 in steals. He'll pick the pocket at least 3 times a game. The head coach of Cincinnati is Bob Huggins. 10 seasons as the head coach at Cincinnati. And Huggins making his 8th straight NCAA tournament appearance. He's been to the Elite 8 row 3 times, the Final 4 back in 1992. We look at his starting lineups. Tate, Michael, and Martin will be up front, and the backcourt, Melvin Levitt and the freshman, Steve Logan at 5'10". You talk about Michael, how good. Last 7 ball games, nearly a double-double, averaging 20 points and 9 rebounds a game. This will be a defensive ball game today, and for that, let's go courtside. Jimmy Dykes.
Hey, Craig, this thing's going to be a dandy. We got 2 of the best defensive clubs in all of college basketball going at it this afternoon. John Chaney's won a lot of basketball games over the years with a very pure matchup zone. He feels like his club is at their best when they're playing a bigger physical ball club. They're matched up with one today in Cincinnati. Bob Huggins, before the game, he said, Jimmy, I think my team defensively the best I've had in my 10 years as the head Bearcat. He feels like his club may be playing the best defense out of everyone in this entire tournament. He went on to say, playing Temple, it's like getting a root canal. Both these clubs may be headed to the dentist before this one's over. Craig, Rowe, back to you guys.
Oh, hey, way to put it, Jimmy. A root canal. I've had a couple of those, and no, not a lot of fun. Let's take a look at the series note here, because these 2 ball clubs, Rolando, know each other very well. 3rd time the 2 clubs have met in NCAA tournament play the last 5 years.
Well, all I know is that John Chaney over the last 2 games has told his team that, hey, we've lost the last 2 basketball games. We've got to change it today.
John Chaney getting comfortable. The tie already loosened. And coming up next, 2nd round between Miami of Ohio, the 10th seed, and the 2nd seed, Utah. Rick Majerus and his running Utes, of course, battled Kentucky in the Final 4 championship last year down in San Antonio. Cincinnati out-rebounded Rolando George Mason Friday night by 15, and that Bearcat defense, as Jimmy Dykes spoke of, held George Mason to just 27% from the floor.
Well, this is going to be a wonderful battle because both teams are very intense in their defensive structure and what they allow another basketball team to do. But what's going to be interesting is for everybody to watch the clash on the boards today, is to see who's most dominant.
David Hall, Tom Rucker, and Bobby Hunt, the men in stripes, and the Tip is chased down by Logan, the freshman out of Cleveland, Ohio. A member of that All-Conference USA freshman team.
You can see the zone is very, very difficult because even though it's a zone, it's a man-to-man matchup zone, so you always try to have a person on the ball.
Logan short on the jumper, but right there for the rebound. Michael stripped away. Sanchez so quick. They call him the Bandit because of those quick hands. 93 steals last year, 90 thefts this season.
No one is going to be able to relax anytime Sanchez is anywhere near the ball.
Sanchez had 3 steals in round 1 Friday against Kent State University.
Oh, he's got Cincinnati coming out in the man-to-man defense. This should allow Lamont Barnes to be able to work inside a great deal with Big Kevin Lyde.
Burrow comes up to help with 10 on the shot clock. Drives against Levitt, working to the corner. Drops it baseline. Lyde steps in, hits. Nice move by Lyde, the freshman from Washington, D.C.
Excellent play by Lyde, an excellent pass inside. These guys look very, very confident and comfortable in going against the man-to-man defense.
Lyde kind of quiet 2 nights ago, 4 points, 4 boards against Kent. And here comes Temple the other way.
Very, very tough. Look at Big Kevin Lyde in the middle there. He has a big weight on him, makes a great move to the baseline and puts it on through. Looks very, very comfortable also for a freshman. Of course, as we talked about at the end of the season, no one's a freshman anymore. These guys have been through many, many games and are ready to play.
Now Jermaine Tate picked up his foul. You make a good point. Cincinnati playing in their 33rd game of the season. Same with Temple. Yeah, you're not a freshman anymore.
Excellent move right there by Rasheed Brokenborough. In a man-to-man defense, though, Temple has a great advantage simply because they have a great big people inside. This is where Rasheed Brokenborough excels.
He had a tremendous game against Kent State University, 15.7 boards in that game Friday night. Logan, head fake, floats it up. Nice touch, end and back out. And it's rebounded by Sanchez. Boy, he's just like a gnat.
Steve Logan had a nice shot right at the beginning, but decided to dribble, took it right into the defense, and had to pump. It was a tough shot at the time.
Temple going inside with a big fella. And a nice soft touch put down by Barnes.
Have to call a timeout. You see how comfortable they are, though, in understanding what they need to do and getting the ball into their big people down the floor.
Well, Brokenborough with a bucket, Lyde with a hoop, and now Lamont Barnes, a junior out of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, makes it 6-0. And Roe, break this game down. What will it take for Cincinnati and Temple to walk away to the Sweet 16?
I think the most important thing for Temple is to make sure that they get an opportunity to hit from the perimeter, and they've got to play big, as you've seen right now, going against the man-to-man, taking that ball to the hole and doing very strong. In Cincinnati, they've got to be able to penetrate the zone. The last couple of times, they've taken some very, very tough shots, and once that ball goes up on the boards, these big bodies have got to clash and come away with it.
Well, you talk about playing big, as you mentioned, big on the line, but also just playing big overall. They're 3 for 3 to start this game. Any type of uneasiness? Absolutely not.
Not at all. Temple is feeling very comfortable because they're getting a chance to apply their strengths. Brokenborough on the outside, and also the big fellas, Lyde and Barnes on the inside.
Levitt got hung up, dropped it off baseline to Martin, and a whistle. Lyde picks up the foul. That's going to be his first and the first team foul.
Washington tries to go on up and throw the ball right down Thomas, but everyone was just around him, and he gets hit right on the side and he takes a shot.
Knocked out of bounds. 34 on the shot clock for Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has to do a lot more probing, a lot more aggression going to the bucket.
Boy, tough pass. They lob it into Fletcher, who's checked in. Ryan Fletcher out of Franklin, Ohio, wears number 24, a junior. Oh, nice shot. Wouldn't go. Tip try by Fletcher.
Excellent play right there by Melvin Levitt. Even though he missed the shot, Craig, he did a great job by penetrating that defense.
Actually, they give the tip to Kenyon Martin. So Cincinnati took nearly 3 minutes to find the bucket. It's 6-2 Temple. Pepe Sanchez, patient.
Cincinnati a little confused.
Karcher off the mark. Rebound goes out to the little man Logan and across the timeline.
Lucky on that play, too. Cincinnati was switching on the baseline.
Michael Martin kicks it back up top. Logan got about the three, backs it out. 17 on the shot. Levitt had the ball stripped, picks it up, drives the paint, and then again bodies on the deck and a whistle.
See, Melvin Levitt does understand what needs to be done. Even though you're playing against the zone, it's a matchup man-to-man zone. You've got to be able to go to the basket and attack. And with that, you'll get good things happening to you. As Melvin Levitt takes it right to the boards. The important part of it right there is that he's attacking, creating fouls. Watch as he comes right to the bucket, though. And all that is very, very good because what he's doing is not only getting points for Cincinnati, but also creating fouls, as we see Kevin Lyde with his second personal, and that's good for Cincinnati.
That's going to force John Chaney after the first shot here of Levitt to make a substitution. One, you'll have to bring in a freshman, Ronald Rollerson, at 6'10", to try to battle the big front of Cincinnati. Levitt makes the first.
Number 30, Ron Rollerson.
This is Craig Gumbel in New York. We'll keep you updated on what happens between Temple and Cincinnati. But those of you awaiting second-round action in the Midwest between Miami and Utah, your game is about set to go. We'll send you down to the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans and join Jim Nantz and Billy Packer right after this.
We are at the Superdome in New Orleans. It's a hot ticket indeed for a doubleheader today that begins with Miami University against the University of Utah. And later today, for the first time ever, Kansas and Kentucky will meet in an NCAA tournament game. The Redhawks and the Utes up first, then the Jayhawks and the Wildcats later this afternoon. Jim Nantz and Billy Packer, so excited about this day, Billy, aren't we?
Jim, it could be very, very interesting here.
What do you expect we're going to see from Wally Szczerbiak after scoring 43 points in Miami's upset win over Washington on Friday?
In Rick Majerus, you have one of the real students of the game. And Wally Szczerbiak, you have a guy that met all challenges against Washington. I think he's going to see defensive looks today that even he hasn't seen.
Only 3 players on the Miami team scored in that game against Washington. Szczerbiak, Frierson, their number 2 scorer, and number 5 all time, and Estic, the only ones to put up points. There he is. And again, welcome to Wally's world here, folks. If you haven't had a chance to see him play before today, you're in for a real treat.
Well, that line of 43 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, only 1 turnover, ends the game on blocking a shot and picking it off. Not much more you can do for a team than that. But today he's going to see some great individual defensive players on him. Jensen will probably be manned on him, but he's going to see hedge moves. He may see a box and one, a lot of double teaming. It'll be interesting.
Utah with a 28-4 record, having won 23 straight, a school record. And here's Andre Miller. He has a bruised left hand. They say nothing serious, but he did receive treatment all day yesterday. Turnaround by Menola. Comes up shy, and Szczerbiak pulls it away. All right, Billy, how are they starting out on him here?
Let's see. Jensen on him, who's one of the top defensive players in all the land. Remember last year in the Final Four, the great job he did on Vince Carter. And he is right on Szczerbiak. He is actually in his shirt. The key's going to be what happens when Szczerbiak tries to run himself off some screens.
Frierson with 5 on the shot clock. Gets Killian to commit and knocks down the jumper.
Well, Rick Majerus is rather prophetic. He said, I know what Szczerbiak can do, but Frierson is a guy that concerns us a great deal as well. Former Mr. Indiana basketball, obviously has had some talent. The other thing will be interesting, Jim, to see how much they make Szczerbiak work on defense against Jensen.
Jensen's offensive game has certainly stepped up here in recent weeks. He was the outstanding player in the WAC tournament last week. Killian, 3-pointer, puts Utah on the board.
Killian, we talked about it last year in junior college, made 107 threes. He has the range. Wasn't much of a factor the other day, but obviously has the strength. And he's on Frierson, but giving up a couple inches there. Here comes that first time in the game that Szczerbiak came off that screen.
Estic in the lane, blocked by Althoff. Insminger keeps it alive, and Jensen for the Utes.
And that's his job, Jim. Just keep things alive. Emsminger doesn't have great stats, but plays a lot of minutes, and his job is to bang people, set screens, and grab rebounds.
Medela off a pick. Top of the key. Missed his first 2 shots from the field. He was hot in the second half against Arkansas State on Friday. Scored 18 in the back half, 22 on the game.
So far, Zerbiak being rather passive going for the ball. The other day, remember, he really came hard to the ball.
Look at that screen. Estic. And Jensen fights his way around it. To the corner. Wow. Mestis had to really leap to get that one.
8 assists, only 1 turnover against Washington was outstanding.
As efficient as could be. He gets back on defense to shut off the penetration of Miller.
He's come off some terrible knee problems, but doing well. Althoff, an easy basket. Althoff not a factor at all against Arkansas State, but he has got so much size in this game. It's interesting to see Utah go to him early right over the top.
Zerbiak. Fadeaway jumper over Jensen. Hits his first of the day.
Beautiful touch. Jensen is really a competitor defensively, and I guarantee you, in his mind, that just burned him. How about the fact that his brother played in the NCAA tournament as well for Weber State? Almost pulled off another huge upset yesterday.
That's Andy Jensen for Weber State. Wildcats. And that was a miscue, which was a rarity again by Mestis.
It was a pretty good idea, though, because there was a backdoor cut by Zerbiak.
They wanted a traveling call here, did the Red Hawk fans.
Well, I tell you, Mestis has some quick feet. Andre Miller has tried to beat him with the dribble, hadn't been able to do so yet. Just a very good defensive team is Miami. The entire league had solid defensive clubs.
Miller.
Not his strong suit.
Really a flat-footed three-pointer. He was so open for so long.
It's kind of interesting. Andre, who played in the Goodwill games with Elton Brand and also Zerbiak, said that they're both outstanding players, but Zerbiak was the #2 player behind Elton Brand on that basketball team. Using that power, dropping that shoulder in beautifully, and got the shot he wanted.
Miller, a teammate of Zerbiak's and Brand's. Brian Cardinal of Purdue was Zerbiak's roommate and still a close friend. They've stayed in touch. Still alive playing today. Althoff with his second basket of the game.
Interesting here. They're going right over the top of Emsminger, who's given up about 5 inches and is no threat whatsoever in the lob if he doesn't get some weak side help.
Insminger's got the body to set some picks. And outside, Killian pushed off on Frierson. And we've reached our first break. Zerbiak's 1 of 2 from the field. Althoff with a couple of baskets, and the Utes with the lead at the first break. Here at
Jay Mernon slipped down a flight of stairs and fell into a coma. Miraculously, after 3 months, he came out of it. He's been with the team ever since. But just last week, Jay's 19-year-old brother fell victim to cancer. Wally Zerbiak told me just before the game, the Red Hawks are dedicating this postseason to Jay Mernon. Jim?
Thank you, Bonnie. Jay Mernon on that bench for the Miami Red Hawks, senior manager.
Estic, very nice little pick and roll move, picked up well by Medela. These are 2 fundamentally sound defensive basketball teams.
Jason Grunkenmeyer has come in for the Red Hawks. Zerbiak drives, no foul.
That's what he did not see against Washington. Pickup. Althoff looked like he either sprained an ankle, Jim, or hurt his arch in his foot, coming down court very slowly here. Harvey, who had a sensational basketball game against Arkansas State.
Gave him 14 off the bench in that victory on Friday. We're 6 minutes into the second round game. Wally Zerbiak's made 1 of 3 from the field for Miami University. And Estic unable to convert the short one.
I'll tell you, Althoff is really doing a fine job for his team. He goes down again.
He's
really
definitely sprained an ankle or something. He's, for the second time, having a hard time getting to the other end.
It'll be Cullen coming in for him. There's Medela with a beautiful layup.
Pano Medela had missed his first 3 shots from the field. And a 20-second timeout called by the Redhawks. Now, on Friday, Szczerbiak scored 43 of his team's 59 points, which is the all-time tournament record for percentage of a team's points. I mean, not even close. You can go back to David Robinson for the second-best percentage.
And look at what he had. He had a 50-point game. And the one that shocked me out of all of that, Jim, when I started thinking about that, was Austin Carr. And I said, gee, Austin had 61, but I didn't realize his team scored 112 in the game. So that's phenomenal, considering the percentage of your team's points in a given game. And it was a very unselfish performance. I mean, he didn't take bad shots. And when you take a look at his percentage of shooting, remember the 3 that he took when he was totally exhausted. And then he took about 2 or 3 shots that he had to take because the clock was winding down. It was a fabulous performance.
It's the 3rd best performance of the season, going back to the regular season. Lee Nayland of TCU and Alvin Young of Niagara both had 44-point games. There's Estic with the shot.
Well, what
Althoff on the bench.
What Miami is doing, they realize that Utah loves to hedge defensively. There's another lob pass, and just too much size for this Miami team. But they love to hedge, and so Miami's running a lot of pick and rolls. Try to take advantage of it. So far, it's been pretty effective. And Harvey, who did that job on Chico Fletcher, remember, with so much size that he has, now on Frierson. Harvey is a big 6'5", may even be 6'6".
While he's aware of the shot clock, pull back, take the 3.
One of his favorite moves is to stare down the defender, looking like he's going to be a pass, and then go straight up for the jump shot. Jensen always looks to pass, not to shoot. Jarrett says, I'd like to see him take 2 or 3 back shots. Again, just going over the top with superior height.
That's twice they've gone right over the top of Jason Grunkemeyer. And, you know, they're listed as just a 2-inch difference in size.
Yeah, well, that's a joke.
They got Jensen 6'7", Grunkemeyer 6'5", and we've been saying this all week. I think Jensen's more in the 6'9" range.
Right, and I'll tell you another thing. I think that Utah measures their guys in a crouch without shoes, everybody else in high heels, because
look at Jensen, knocked down a 3 from way out.
And that keeps Szczerbiak honest. But they are a very tall, rangy, long-armed team, is Utah. Look at like Cullen in the game. They list him at 6'9". He's about a 6'10.5", 6'11" player.
And a good one, too.
Oh, yeah.
Freshman from the state of Washington. All right, Utah with its largest lead, an 8-point lead. Szczerbiak hits a 3-pointer over Cullen this time.
This just goes to show you the total versatility he has as an offensive player. You know, he can take it strong to the basket. He's got great range on his jump shot. Jensen fouling.
Pushed off, going into the post. Pushed off Szczerbiak. Jensen with 5 points for the Utes.